God, that has to be the most annoying song
Can you
ever.
name it?
I think it's Puppy Love.
By?
Is it Brenda Lee? Or Peggy Lee? It's one of the two. I don't know.
57 years ago, at the ripe old age of 13, starting her recording career, Dolly Parton. It's a 13-year-old Dolly Parton right there.
That's just really just... if I had to listen to that right there, you could play in prisons as a punishment and just drive people crazy. That would be something that you would do in a like some sort of
interrogation,
prisoner of war camp. Okay, I'll talk.
I'm looking at the 45, and it was written by Owens. I think Buck Owens wrote that.
It's possible.
Anyway, 57 years ago, 1959, Dolly Parton.
It does have kind of that Bakersfield kind of swing thing going for it. So maybe it is.
Anyway, Dolly Parton. I
like Dolly Parton.
I do too, and I have to
just
tip the hat. I'm thinking of what she does, and Sid and I took advantage of it, where she sends out children's books, and you get one every single month, and there's like no catch. You just go, I think, to the Eugene Public Libraries, where we kind of hooked into this. 850 children every month get a book. Countries all over, U.S., Canada, the U.K., Australia, 10 million annually. That can't be cheap. I mean, I see a lot of people talk about, how messed up the system is, and talk about, we need reform and we need something, done. And what do? Nothing. That right there, I think, is a pretty cool, nifty move at some expense. I mean, 850,000 children every month. Tip of the hat to Dolly Parton, who at age 70 looks 70, but has a great smile. And if you've ever been to Dollywood,
No.
Pigeon Forge out in Tennessee. If you're in the neighborhood,
are you stalking her? I'm just curious. I mean, you seem to just have kind of
this break brought to you by the
by
Dolly Parton Foundation. Yeah. No, I mean, she's definitely likable. There's not a whole bunch that you could sit there and pick her apart on. And think about how many people who have been around. I mean, since 1959 and have the bill of health that she has. That's it. I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know I was going to set you up.
Just saying.
Didn't know you were so anti-Dolly.
Just saying.
Who was it?
Seemed kind of
Trucker Steve, who we haven't heard from. Creepy.
Yeah, you were just. It was almost starting to just kind of stretch over into the creepy.
Because I was thanking her for sending books out.
No, because you just were fixated on her. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. What about Trucker Steve? No, I haven't heard from him because he's now working a different route.
But when he called in, wasn't it Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers that he had helped out and saved the day? That's
right. Threw them in a refrigerated truck and
had good things
toted
to
them
say.
from the California border.
So
up to Portland.
I'm not the only one who shares an affinity for Miss Parton. What's up in Bill's world? Bill's Corner.
Well, one thing was there was lightning on the way into work this morning.
Was there?
Yeah, it looked to be kind of, I guess, southwest of Eugene.
Really?
Yeah. I was noticing it on the way into work this morning. It's like, was that lightning? And then I kept watching for it, and it was. So anyway, we did get a little bit of lightning overnight. And I guess a little bit in the forecast, at least depending on which one you look at, we may still have a chance today. That said. Also, I want to remind you, we've got so much stuff going on here at KPNW that we're actually starting to sound like a real radio station. So tomorrow, we have a Thirsty Thursday event coming up at Sam's on Wilson. That's out there on West 11th, just off of West 11th. We invite you to come on out there. We'll be out there from 4 to 7. By the way, we're going to give you a chance while you're out there to also sign up to win the season passes to the Cuthbert Amphitheater.
Oh.
Okay? So that's a reason to stop on by. We'll be giving away swag prizes about every 15 minutes. I think we've got some other concert tickets we'll be giving away for that. But anyway, it was great seeing the 15 last month at Sam's out there on Franklin. Throwing a beer back and chatting with the 15. It was a lot of fun. We invite you to come on out and do it again. We'd love to see you out there at Sam's on Wilson. And tomorrow, we will also be doing, one of our deliveries of Umpqua Dairy ice cream to some lucky business. If you're not in the drawing for it, and we will bring out enough for 15 people easily. All right? So if you haven't gotten into it yet, email us 1120kpnw@gmail.com. On the subject line, just simply put ice cream, Umpqua Dairy ice cream, something that says ice cream. All right? Make sure that your email includes your name, where you work, a phone number where we can contact you during the day, and an address would be helpful too, and how many people are in your office. So, but again, it's for up to 15 people. If it's over 15, then you get to decide who gets excluded and shunned. Anyway, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. What is the
caramel cone? Caramel cone is what we'll be looking at.
That sounds tasty. I have to admit, last month's pistachio was really good.
I'll be looking forward to that caramel cone.
Yeah.
Some of that making its way back to the studios. It's 1120 KPNW. Break-in first guest coming up next.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
The one means no matter what the problem.
from security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. So our highly skilled technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
You are a business owner.
I am a business owner.
You want to grow,
That's true. I do want to grow my business,
but you need help.
especially with how I'm going to grow my business.
So you call U.S. Bank.
Good idea. They'll know how.
Our custom solutions give you what you need to expand.
That's just what I need to expand.
Add a production line.
Wow. Can you believe that production line?
Give you operating capital.
Can't operate without operating capital.
And help your business grow even more.
I think I'm going to need a bigger office.
With a business banker there by your side every step of the way.
Maybe I should start another business.
Visit your local U.S. Bank branch or usbank.com/quickloan today. U.S. Bank. The power of possible. Equal housing lender. Credit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association and are subject to normal credit approval and program guidelines. See your banker for details. Deposit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association, member FDIC.
This is an announcement for all people who want to take a risk-free challenge to whiten their teeth in 5 minutes. By calling now, you can whiten your teeth in 5 minutes using clinically proven power swabs. This risk-free challenge is for people whose smile has been yellowed by coffee, tea, red wine, or smoking. The Power Swabs 5-minute challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the Power Swabs 5-minute challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. Power Swabs was formulated by Dr. Martin Ginniger and whitens teeth with a patented tooth detergent and whitening agent. It's so effective, we challenge you to try it for 5 minutes to see how white your smile could be. Get it risk-free. Dial 1-800-973-6563. 1-800-973-6563. Transform your smile into a wow, you look great smile. Dial 1-800-973-6563. 1-800-973-6563.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we have mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s. Light winds out of the south at 5 to 10. Now, as we move through the day, we're tracking a storm system over California that will eject energy up Interstate 5. That means we will see thunderstorms triggering along the Cascades. The question now becomes, will they be able to drift into the valley? 50-50 chance. We'll see that late afternoon into the evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Highs on the cooler side, only in the mid to upper 70s, with light winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. This is just the beginning of several days of storm systems headed this way, each one bringing the temps down a little bit more until highs this weekend are only in the mid to low 50s with mostly cloudy skies and a good chance of rain. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
It never rains when the wake-up call takes to the air. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Oh, gosh, it's a day after a major primary, so we get to talk about winners and losers. Joining us to help in that event this morning is Harlan Hill. He's a political consultant. He joins us on the wake-up call. Harlan, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us. Okay, so no real big surprises yesterday, other than what? Maybe Cruz taking third place?
I think the margins by which Clinton and Trump pulled ahead. I think particularly notable is Trump breaking the 60 barrier. Obviously, that's pretty important in terms of calculating his delegate haul. So, it's huge.
Okay, it's huge, but not necessarily unexpected, though.
I think that's true. I mean, most of the polls that I saw, the RCP average and others, didn't quite have him there. So I think that was a little bit of a surprise.
Okay.
I think, and mostly at the expense of Cruz, based on the polling that I've seen.
Well, Cruz shot himself in the foot months ago, making the really dumb comment about New York values.
So stupid. Yeah.
I mean, that was one. I mean, of the one of the most populous states in the union, and the biggest city in the nation, to make a comment like that has to be one of the dumbest gaffes ever.
Yeah, he just didn't think that this primary season would stretch out all the way to New York. That's what I'd suspect. He wasn't looking that far out. So.
Well, gee, there's a little lesson to put in the game plan book for next time.
Yeah, don't pick on New York.
Well, I mean, any major state. I mean, that would be stupid.
Sure.
California, Florida, any of the majors.
Texas.
I mean, what a fool. Can we say that comment probably even cost him second place?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Many months in the making. And all you have to do to confirm that is look at some of the other surrounding states, Connecticut and Pennsylvania and elsewhere. I think that he'll outperform his numbers in New York for sure.
Okay. Let's talk about the Democratic side of things. Again, Hillary Clinton winning. Again, not a huge surprise there. The question is, Bernie Sanders is screaming foul this morning, dealing with a number of voting irregularities, which could be into the 100 to 150,000 range of polls that closed. Democrats weren't allowed to vote. People were kicked off the rolls for no apparent reason. Does he have any grounds to really challenge this? And even if he does, is it going to make any difference?
As someone who's been on campaigns where we've seen irregularities and challenged them, it's very difficult to materially move the results after the election. It just doesn't work like that, and you don't get a redo. So even if there were irregularities, and even if we could determine that they were deliberate in some way, that doesn't help him secure the nomination. But you know what? I wouldn't put anything past the Clintons. I mean, it's certainly plausible that through the grapevine and through New York, typical New York politics, on the Democratic side of the aisle, that they were able to pull something like that off.
Wow. You really just threw Hillary under the bus there.
Yep. Well, after 30 years of lies, deceit, and fraud, I wouldn't put anything past her.
Okay. Well, that's a nice way of putting it.
Well,
all right. Moving forward, next week, a lot of primaries are going to be coming up. The key state, what? Pennsylvania?
absolutely. I mean, that's the last key state in terms of the delegate haul for Trump until California.
And what does it look like for what's the polling showing at this point going into next Tuesday?
Well, it indicates that Trump will win Pennsylvania, but what I'm concerned about is how many delegates he'll actually get out of it, where 80% of the delegates in Pennsylvania will be unbound to the results of the ballot box. That's really a concern, given that Trump really has an inferior field operation and cooperation to Cruz's.
All right. Hey, Harlan, we appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much.
All right, you take care. It is 647 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
How would you like to make up to $20,000 a month flipping houses with no risk? Hi, my name is Nick Vertucci, and over the last 2 years, my elite team of house flippers have flipped over 800 properties by using my 3-step flipping system that guarantees quick profits. And this year, we plan to double it. I'm growing my team in your area, and I'm looking for help. I have more cash available than deals right now, so I need you. All interested candidates, call now and take an inside peek of my flipping system. I'll rush you out a free copy of my Fortunes and Flipping CD kit that will show you how easy it is to get in, get out, and get paid immediately flipping houses if you come join my team.
Call 1-800-449-3149 now to get your free flipping kit. Call 800-449-3149 and you'll also get free tickets to a training workshop. That includes a free meal, a smartphone watch, and a USB flash drive loaded with Nick's powerful information as free gifts just for attending. Call 800-449-3149. That's 800-449-3149. Call now.
Brad's Car Tunes in Springfield has arrived. The same great car, ATV, and marine audio hub in Eugene has come to Springfield. Brad's Car Tunes is the place to go for speakers, head units, subs, amplifiers, DVD players, and security systems. Professional custom installs on site. Brad's Car Tunes, 7th and Blair in Eugene and 38th and Main in Springfield. Stay tuned.
Sherry's invented Free Pie Wednesday because, well, we love pie. Sweet Montana cherry, Oregon Marionberry made with Northwest fruit, chocolate cream supreme, sour cream lemon pie made with real whipped cream, s'mores galore, and many more. That's why we've won over 25 gold medals at the National Pie Championships. Enjoy a free slice of your favorite Sherry's pie with dinner tonight from 4 to 10 at Sherry's Cafe and Pies.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you're self-employed and have not yet claimed your free trial of the money-saving software from QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's not too late. Our mission is to get this automatic mileage tracking and deduction maximizing software into the hands of every self-employed person in America as quickly as possible. That's why we're giving away these absolutely free trials. To get yours, text TRIAL10 to 67076.
It automatically tracks my trips and records my deductions so I can keep more of the money I make.
It's awesome. It gives me back my freedom, really.
QuickBooks Self-Employed is designed to help self-employed Americans keep more money in their pocket. And it's working. On average, subscribers identify $18,217 in potential annual deductions. And it's so easy, anyone can use it. If you haven't claimed your free trial yet, it's not too late. Text TRIAL10 to 67076. But hurry while we're still giving trials away for free. Again, text TRIAL10 to 67076. That's TRIAL10 to 67076.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out in the next few minutes, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, so not that bad, with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 and a few gusts up to 15. Now, over the last few days, we've seen unbelievably warm temperatures thanks to a pocket of high pressure that's been over the area. But that high pressure is now moving away. It's already headed to the north. It's allowing a storm system that's in northern California to start ejecting some of its energy towards us later this afternoon. That piece of energy will fire thunderstorms into the Cascades. That's about a 90% chance of that happening morning. The question becomes now, will they be able to escape the Cascades and work their way down into the valley? About a 50-50 chance after 4 p.m. we could see a few thunderstorms, so if you hear a couple of claps of thunder or see some lightning, that's what's going on. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Temps look to be in the mid to upper 70s out there, so a little bit cooler than the last few days. Winds will shift to the southwest at 5 to 10 with a few gusts up to 15. Now, we are tracking multiple storm systems headed this way. The next one looks to be Thursday night into your Friday morning with a cold front, and the system after that looks to be Saturday into your Sunday. Both are going to make the temps by the weekend in the 50s for your highs. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
This is your wake-up call.
It's like no cheese I've ever tasted.
News Radio 1120, KPNW.
53 degrees at 6:52. News Radio 1120 KPNW. Upcoming moments of the show, like within the next hour. You got Lise Wheel for her Wednesday visit coming up at about 7:27. Yeah, we're that precise here on the show. Also, Mike Clark, mayoral candidate Mike Clark. If you have a question for Mr. Clark, you can email it in too, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. Of course, any phone calls that come in with pertinent information and questions and comments, we can throw those out there as well. So Lise and Mike coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Before we get off the air at 9, we'll be qualifying people for the Cuthbert season pass that we've talked about. Everybody from Lyle Lovett, you got some Mavis Staples in there, Bob Dylan, Sublime, Weird Al Yankovic. Yes, Weird Al.
It's too bad we couldn't have Weird, and that's what his friends just call him Weird, as opposed to Mr. Al.
He was apparently a good kisser. I had a friend who dated him in Los Angeles for
Glad you qualified
bit.
that.
Huh?
Yeah, really dated him for a while.
That's why I said apparently is a good kisser.
Okay.
Allegedly. Anyway.
Thank you.
Into the show. I think he would be a great guest. He's a great interview.
Oh,
he's. I mean, people might make fun and not really, put too much credence. He is extremely intelligent, very smart guy, and some of the stories he's come up with as far as how he started his career or got ideas for songs, some of the feedback that he's received. I would love to have him on the show.
Well, we'll just have to get to work on that.
We'll work on that. Yeah.
I would like to see him actually come out after Bob Dylan and do just a few Bob Dylan parody tunes.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah. I would just pay just to see him do a polka medley of Bob Dylan tunes.
Why does it have to be polka?
Because his polka medleys are hilarious. Have you ever heard Hot Rocks Polka or his polka version of Bohemian Rhapsody?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, it
Brilliant.
is hilarious. Yes, he does the entirety of Bohemian Rhapsody solo. Just him and the accordion.
Okay, I might have to check that one out.
It rocks.
We'll have to. Okay, let's put that on. We'll put that on on the to talk to list. Weird Al. The Cuthbert Grand Prize giveaway is going to get to check out all the shows that are coming to the Cuthbert during the season. And if you've not been there, it's a pretty cool place to hang out on a late afternoon into evening. It's perfect. Very cool. All right. So and just to kind of round out what we have coming, and that maybe you might maybe throw a question out there or have a comment for Isaac Jackson, attorney, 840, coming in, and always interesting to have Isaac in here, have an attorney. You've got an attorney's ear. If you've got a question or basically want that legal perspective, we've got the opportunity coming up. Sunshine with a cloud mix today. Got the hybrid going. Kind of cooling things off with that high pressure starting to wane a bit. 75 for the high. Partly cloudy, 48 tonight. Partly cloudy, 71 tomorrow. And then rain coming into the forecast tonight. Tomorrow night, Thursday. Just in time for the weekend. Wasn't it great having a nice weekend where you have a couple of days off and you actually have weather to get out there and do something? You'll have to be maybe a little bit more adventurous coming up on this weekend. Hour number 2 coming up. Stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are little changed in early trading as oil resumes its slide and investors assess the latest earnings reports. Right now, the Dow is down 3 points at 18,051. The S&P 500 is lower by almost 2, or nearly 0.1% at 2099. And the Nasdaq is down 10 points at 4930. Crude oil is lower by 2% at $40.25 a barrel. Shares of Coca-Cola are down 4% after profits beat estimates in the latest quarter, but investors were underwhelmed. Intel right now down about 0.5%. Intel issued a mixed report and announced that it would cut 12,000 jobs. Investors are also awaiting the March existing home sales numbers. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg are expecting an increase from the month before. And among those companies expected to report earnings later today are American Express and Yum Brands. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Adapt your home and community to wildfires and keep this from turning into this. Learn to protect your home and community. Visit fireadapted.org to get started. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom now.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Holloway in London and the Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Supporters of crooked Hillary in New York are not happy. They're dismayed that top elected New York Democrats have failed to support her during her campaign there. And they're also angry with Crazy Bernie. Now, according to the New York Post, they're mad at Bernie because his attacks on Hillary were effective. Apparently, Sanders forced Hillary to spend a lot of unnecessary time and money defending herself in her home state. Sanders also supposedly forced Hillary to go a lot farther left than she should have with her criticisms of Wall Street, not to mention the time that she had to spend defending her husband's track record. The Clinton crime bill is an example. And then there was the Brooklyn debate. Sanders supposedly forced Hillary into a verbal fight where she had no choice but to yell and scream back at him. Crooked Hillary supporters are worried that the video of her screeching at Bernie will be used in the general election to make her look nasty or erratic. In other words, true. Her supporters are furious that as Hillary was attacked, Senator Chuck Schumer, Governor Andrew Cuomo, and congressmen like Gerald Nadler and Steve Israel couldn't offer a single word of defense. Crooked Hillary also expected Charlie Rangel and other black elected officials to come to Bill's defense when he was attacked by Black Lives Matter, but that didn't happen. Now, we know the Clintons have long memories and a long excrement list, and I guess some new names just got added to it. It's kind of fun to track. Say, folks, one of the
News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Hillary Clinton will be out campaigning in Pennsylvania the day after a big win in New York.
The race for the Democratic nomination is in the home stretch, and victory is in sight.
She got 135 delegates. Bernie Sanders got 104, padding her big lead. Fox's John Decker has more on the Democrats live at the White House.
A top campaign official for Bernie Sanders says the campaign will take a step back and then decide publicly what his intentions are after the 5 contests that take place next Tuesday. Strategist Tad Devine says Sanders is still making a contribution by bringing independents and young people into the process. Clinton's decisive 16-point victory over Sanders in her adopted home state has led some party leaders to call on Sanders to stop the negative attacks against the Democratic frontrunner. Dave?
John Donald Trump will hit Indiana, then Maryland today, coming off his big New York landslide.
It's really nice to win the delegates with the votes. You know, it's really nice.
He got at least 89 of the state's 95 Republican delegates. Ted Cruz got none. John Kasich picked up 3 and is urging voters in the 5 primary states next Tuesday to help him stop Trump. A disaster at sea. We're learning more about a shipwreck in the Mediterranean. Fox's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, it could be the deadliest capsizing of a migrant boat in months. The UN's refugee agency saying up to 500 people may have drowned after a boat sank as it sailed from Libya to Italy. It's thought to have occurred last week. Aid groups have to wait for accounts from survivors as they piece together what happened. The UN says 41 people were rescued from Somalia, Ethiopia, Egypt and Sudan. Dave?
Simon, a 15-year-old boy is dead in Ohio after Erie County officials say he attempted conducting an experiment he saw on YouTube last night in his family's garage. Electrocuted trying to conduct a Jacob's Ladder, a high-voltage arc between 2 points. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply-Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows. We do windows,
doors,
and installation
for less.
CCB 180018. It's spring, and you're excited for that next great shooting trip. Your first stop should be Tannerite Sports Outlet in Eugene. You know Tannerite Sports Outlet's your local source for Tannerite binary rifle targets, but there's so much more. Tannerite's got reloading supplies, tactical gear, magazines, and accessories. And if ammo supplies a worry, don't, because Tannerite has bulk quantities of the most popular calibers that'll keep you shooting affordably. No question, Tannerite's the home for exploding targets. But from tactical gear to ammo, it's the Tannerite Sports Outlet, just off I-5 across from LCC.
Not much action this morning on Wall Street. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides live at the New York Stock Exchange.
Dave, right now we're seeing energy and utilities under pressure while tech and healthcare companies are showing some up arrows. Coca-Cola and Boeing are weighing on the Dow. United Health and Intel are winners. The Dow Jones Industrial Average this moment up 12 points, 18,065. The Nasdaq gaining 8. The S&P 500 up just fractionally. Coca-Cola said revenue and profit declined. That stock's down about 5%. St. Jude profit beat. That's up 4%. Intel cutting about 12,000 jobs. That's gaining 1%. And Yahoo reported its revenue. Right now, it's up 2.6%. Dave.
Thank you, Nicole. We're just now getting an update on the housing market. Previously owned home sales surged nearly 6% in March after some big gains in buying in the Northeast and Midwest. Price of oil's been down nearly $1, back to about $40 a barrel. Gas is also down a fraction today. AAA's average for regulars now under $2.11 a gallon. Another automaker's caught up in an emissions scandal, but this one is different than Volkswagen, cheating emissions tests in its diesel cars.
Mitsubishi is apologizing to its customers and shareholders for its fuel efficiency scandal. It's admitting its tests made it appear cars were getting more miles from a gallon of gas than was true. The models involved are 4 mini cars, including 2 made for Nissan. Production of the 4 models has been stopped, and it's investigating whether cars sold in countries other than Japan also had the tampered numbers. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
Another night of blowouts in the NBA playoffs.
A 10-1 Hawk run. Bays to the corner. 3-ball. Good!
The Hawks got up big early and never looked back, routing the Celtics on FS Southeast. The Celtics only scored 7 points in the first quarter, the fewest in any playoff game since the shot clock was introduced 62 years ago. The Spurs also crushed the Memphis Grizzlies. Both San Antonio and Atlanta have 2-0 series leads. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
How do you just score 7 points in a quarter? I guess that's how you do it. Pretty much get shut down by a superior defense. 11:20 KPNW. Welcome in. 7:05 if you're keeping track. It is Wednesday still, April 20th, 2016. You got the live and local wake-up call here from the Widmer Brothers Studios here at the Bicoastal Radio Complex. Welcome in. Sunny today with a little bit of cloud cover here and there, kind of a mix with middle 70s, your top temp. Partly cloudy, upper 40s tonight. Partly cloudy and 70-ish tomorrow. Rain coming in tomorrow night. Got a couple of different fronts that will be headed our way beginning of the weekend and into the weekend. All right, so the website backgroundchecks.org has got the 25 safest cities in Oregon. Most of the top cities are in Portland. Number 1, West Lynn. Got a population. I guess your chance of being involved with property crime less than a percentage point. Then kind of locally, the closer you get to Eugene and Springfield. Number 3, Albany. Number 10, Corvallis. Springfield has dropped down to 19, and 25th, Grants Pass. What did we forget to talk about? Who missed it? Oh, yeah. Eugene.
Is not on the top 25
Not in
list
the top
of safe
25
cities?
safest cities in Oregon.
What do they define as safe?
Their specs, looking at violent crime reported by the FBI, and then the violent crime ratio to the population. So it was not just, petty theft, things like that. It was like heady stuff that they were looking at. I wonder if you talk to, and it might range the answers and responses you get. And if you feel safe and don't mind, feel safe or don't feel safe, 1120kpnw@gmail.com. I wonder if you went and took a 100-person survey overall, where on the, if you were to give a grade, where we would be in Eugene. And like I said, it might vary if you live in a spot that's getting a little bit more attention. You probably would give it a lesser grade. But if you aren't seeing anything, or maybe you've got a great neighborhood watch, maybe you've been a little bit proactive, maybe your response would be different. How safe do you feel in Eugene? Eugene, Oregon. Coming up, Lise and Mike Clark, mayoral candidate. Mike Clark going to be in studio at 7:40, and news too.
Yeah, we'll have these stories coming up in just a matter of moments. We'll take a look at another epic fail for the Oregon Department of Justice. This time they're going to have to pay some money because of it. We'll take a look at that. We'll also follow up on elections and getting yourself registered in Lane County. We'll take a look at some employment numbers and more, all ahead here on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
A tasty meal can make your day. A solid breakfast puts a good spin on things at the beginning of the day. A great meal in the evening can usually salvage a lousy day. Burrito Amigos can definitely cover the bases and be first in rotation or back cleanup. Fast and hot, Burrito Amigos breakfast burritos are fresh and tasty. You choose the meat. The bacon burritos have 2 types of bacon. The machaca burritos are made from certified black Angus. Or get tasty and zesty chorizo. Link sausage, huevos ranchero made with green salsa, or go meatless. On the back end of the day, let Burrito Amigos do the cooking while you enjoy other great items off the menu like quesadillas, tostadas, tamales, wet burritos, even something more unique like lengua burritos or Mexican cheesesteak burritos. Let Burrito Amigos be the beginning of a great day or the salvation to a bad one. Smiles all around from Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield. I'm Bill London, and I approve all the breakfast burritos and about half of the rest of the menu. The other half I haven't eaten yet.
When the sun comes out, the critters are up and moving. SM Gun Shop wants you to be ready. Get a head start on varmint season with huge savings on Black Hills 223 plus special wall-to-wall pricing. It's only at SM Gun Shop on River Road in Eugene, Lane County's most established gun store.
Jerry Shop Talk, can I help you?
Hi, yeah, I need some plywood.
Okay.
A dozen 10-foot studs.
Right.
6 rolls of tar paper, 8 bundles of roof shingles, and 12 concrete blocks.
Okay, got it.
Can Jerry's help me out with all that?
We'll do more than help you out.
Yeah?
We'll totally load your vehicle.
Really?
Just drive through our drive-through lumberyard.
Drive-through? Awesome. Can I get a shake with that?
Sure. Put her there, pal.
Thank you.
And now, Katy Perry.
Imagine going on stage with nothing and being expected to roar. It's the same with our teachers who are using their own money so students can learn. DonorsChoose.org helps teachers and students succeed.
Join Katy Perry at MakeRoarHappen.com.
This is News Radio 1120 KPNW. And we've got the local story in the morning wake-up call.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. A judge has ordered the state to pay more than $318,000 to lawyers representing a Eugene man who was kicked by an Oregon State police captain after a chase in the chest. Actually broke his clavicle. U.S. District Judge Michael McShane's orders blame Oregon Department of Justice attorneys who represented Captain Rob Edwards for the costly legal bill. McShane says during the January trial, state lawyers filed 22 what he referred to as groundless objections, and one attorney pretended to be asleep while plaintiff Justin Wilkins was testifying. Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum issued a statement saying the DOJ is working to make sure lawyers are aware of standards regarding courtroom behavior. Apparently, before this, they didn't know anything about it. The state has appealed the jury's ruling that found Edwards violated Wilkins' civil rights in the 2012 incident. Well, yesterday morning, at about 7:45, a two-story house that had been converted into 3 apartments burst into flames. Eugene Springfield Fire Department Deputy Chief Randy DeWitt breaks it down.
That upstairs unit was heavily involved in fire on our arrival, fire coming out of all 3 front windows. The good news is all the occupants made it out safely prior to our arrival, so we could focus on fire suppression.
All 7 of the people that lived in the house escaped the blaze before the fire got completely out of control. Once the fire was put out, the structure was deemed uninhabitable. The fire marshal says the fire burned the structure so completely the cause is almost impossible to discern and will be listed as undetermined. Although 7 people had to find somewhere else to live, at least temporarily, the Red Cross is assisting them. The March unemployment numbers are out for Lane County, and we seem to be following statewide trends.
Lane County's seasonally unadjusted unemployment rate dropped to 4.9% in March, and that's the lowest unemployment rate since December of 1999.
Lane County employment economist Brian Rooney says for the past couple of years, Lane County has experienced employment growth of about 2 to 2.5%. Baby boom retirements have created opportunities in mostly full-time jobs, according to statewide data. Douglas County is also doing well.
But that 6.2% unemployment rate is the lowest seasonally adjusted rate since we started producing a seasonally adjusted rate in 1990 in Douglas County.
For Douglas County, their growth rate sits at 1.8%, which compared to the statewide rate of 8.4%, make that 3.4%, is not all that impressive, but according to Rooney, is still very good news. Oregon's largest private employer is going to get smaller. Brad Ford reports on Intel's job cuts.
Intel grew into a company employing more than 100,000 people by making chips for personal computers, but PC sales are down. CFO Stacy Smith tells CNBC now they have to change to produce products used in cloud computing.
We're looking at the restructuring as a way to actually build on our strong execution and accelerate it.
As many as 12,000 Intel employees will lose their jobs. Smith is not saying how that will affect Oregon, specifically Hillsboro.
This is a worldwide action. It's not concentrated in any one geography.
If the cuts are made evenly, around 2,000 Intel employees in Oregon could be looking for new jobs. The cuts will happen over the next year. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Oregon State Police are looking for witnesses to an accident on Highway 99 near Clear Lake Road just north of Eugene. That incident left a pedestrian dead.
The person was walking or in the lane of travel when they were struck by a 2003 Dodge pickup.
Bill Fugate of the Oregon State Police says the preliminary investigation revealed that the pickup driven by 69-year-old Ray Lunt was traveling southbound on 99 when it hit the pedestrian. The pedestrian was pronounced dead at the scene. Highway 99 was partially closed for approximately 4 hours for that investigation. Well, if you've visited Cottage Grove's downtown historic district, you've probably noticed huge cracks and heaves in the sidewalks. The problems were caused by trees that were improperly planted decades ago. 27 of the most hazardous spots were greatly, if not fully, improved yesterday. A big part of the concern beyond the way it looked was the tripping hazard.
I brought that to our EBID, the Economic Business Improvement District downtown, and I worked to get a company called Safe Sidewalks LLC to come out, and what they did was they took a piece of machinery and shaved the sidewalk off and made it level.
According to Cottage Grove Main Street coordinator Shauna Nye, the total cost of the project was just over $3,000. The Economic and Business Improvement District derives its funds from membership fees paid by businesses within its boundaries. This year's presidential primary is moving closer to Oregon. Donald Trump's campaign just opened an office in Eugene. That office on West 7th Place is the Trump campaign's first official Oregon office. Bernie Sanders' Oregon team also opened an office in Eugene earlier this month on Friendly Street. So, with that, you know that election season is here, and Lane County Clerk Cheryl Betchart says if you already aren't, you need to register before it's too late.
The voter registration deadline is Tuesday, April 26th.
If you're registered but still undecided on a party and you plan to become a D, R, or I, you're going to have to choose a side before the 26th as well.
We will be dropping off ballots to the post office on April 28th, and voters can expect to see those in their mailboxes and at their residences starting on April 29th.
Voters will decide who will be the next mayor of Eugene and several city council and e-web positions. They'll also be voting on primary candidates for president and a number of national and statewide races. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump celebrating big wins in New York, while Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich look ahead to the next voting contest.
Thank you, New York! We've won in every region of the country. From the north to the south to the east to the west, but this one's personal.
We're going to celebrate for about 2 hours. Then early in the morning, I get up and we begin working again.
While I congratulate Secretary Clinton, I must say that I am really concerned about the conduct of the voting process in New York State.
Are America's greatest generations in our past, or are our best days yet ahead?
People are worried about their jobs. Can they keep their jobs? And wages. Can their wages go up? But the other thing they worry about is their children's future. Can our kids get an education, and can they have a better life than what we have?
Up on the next calendar list, it's Connecticut, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Delaware. They're all scheduled for next Tuesday. If you eat bass, the Oregon Health Authority says you need to limit the number of fish you eat. Brad Ford reports.
Bass eat smaller fish that contain mercury, and that causes the mercury to build up to dangerous levels in bass. David Fair with the Oregon Health Authority says that's dangerous to people.
Mercury can really cause problems with the nervous system.
They're warning you to limit bass to no more than 6 meals a month for most people, but for pregnant women and babies, they should eat no more than 2 meals a month.
The most sensitive population is developing babies.
It doesn't matter where the fish are caught in Oregon. The mercury comes from pollution produced in the state, coal burned in Asia that falls as pollution in Oregon, and some of the mercury occurs naturally. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Banking remains a major hurdle for the legal marijuana industry, but new federal data suggests that's beginning to change. The number of banks and credit unions telling the government that they're handling marijuana money has jumped fivefold in the last 2 years, from 51 banks in March of 2014 to 301 last month. In Washington state, most marijuana businesses are paying taxes electronically, not in cash, but the progress is still relatively slight, and it's still tough for marijuana businesses to get loans, even in Washington or Oregon, where regulated sales are legal. Because so many pot dealers pay taxes in cash, those states have turned government offices into mini fortresses to safely handle the payments. And it's going to be a coming issue facing California, Arizona, Nevada, and other states that are considering legalizing marijuana this year. The Independent Party of Oregon got some clarity this week on how it's going to be allowed to pick a presidential nominee during its first state-run primary election next month. The Oregon Justice Department said whichever presidential candidate wins the most write-ins on the ballot doesn't necessarily have to be the party's nominee. Instead, party leaders can have the final say under certain parameters. Party leaders say it gives them the same rights afforded to Republicans and Democrats, who use mostly delegates to select presidential nominees. The state of Oregon has urged the Independent Party of Oregon to communicate with voters to avoid confusion. A bill has passed the U.S. Senate that will keep 3 locations open in Oregon for the testing of unmanned aircraft systems. Senator Ron Wyden says it's a driving force in the growth of businesses in the state to design and build unmanned aircraft.
Creating jobs and boosting the economy statewide with commercial uses that include mountaintop rescue and agricultural applications.
The 3 testing locations are Pendleton, Warm Springs, and Tillamook. The FAA has also chosen Oregon State University as a center of excellence for unmanned aircraft systems. The bill is going to allow the testing to continue until 2020. Well, AAA is out with the list of the top greenest cars. Brad Ford reports the top car on the list is popular, but also really spendy.
The Tesla Model S70D has a 240-mile range, which is one of the most attractive features if you're looking to take a longer drive.
It's spendy. In fact, it also is number 1 in our category for best green cars that cost you over $50,000.
AAA's Marie Dodd says the BMW i3 ranks second, followed by the Volkswagen e-Golf. The one non-electric model in the top 5 is the Subaru Outback 2.5i Premium.
Great fuel efficiency. It's a comfortable car. It offers you all-wheel drive.
The top 3 reasons that drivers go green are the lower fuel cost, environmental impact, and maintenance costs. Brad Ford, KPNW.
This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Talk a little NBA first in Atlanta. Game 2 of the Hawks and the Boston Celtics. Over in minutes, Jeff Teague hit the opening three-pointer, and they never looked back, running up to a 24-3 lead. Hawks allowed 4 more points after that for a total of 7. Hawks win in the end 89-72, up 2-1. In San Antonio, the Memphis Grizzlies scored less than the Celtics. They're having a tough time against the Spurs, getting absolutely shut down 94-68 to also go up 2-0. Blazers trying to get back into their series with the Clippers tonight. Phoenix Suns have taken the interim tag off Earl Watson's nameplate. He's the new head coach there with a lot of work to do in Phoenix. The Oregon acrobatics and tumbling team down in Waco at the national finals came up 5 points short to number 1 Baylor. The national champs, coached by Felicia Mulkey. She's a pretty good coach. She used to coach for the Ducks. Former Ducks quarterback Vernon Adams had a workout with the LA Rams, and his performance was listed as, quote, really impressive. NFL draft is a week from tomorrow, and Johnny Manziel has lost his second agent in 2 months. Pac-12 named Devin Allen and Hannah Cunliffe as track athletes of the week. Allen won 3 events at the Oregon Relays in the 200, the 110 hurdles, and the 400 hurdles, along with contributing to a winning 4x100 relay team. Cunliffe second in the 100 and 200 at the Mount Sac relays, along with contributing to the 4x100 team, winning as they clocked the 3rd fastest time in NC2A history. And 2 of OSU's best baseball players ever have been named to the Pac-12 All-Century baseball team, Jacoby Ellsbury and Michael Conforto, who both now play professionally in New York, named to the outfield with the likes of Barry Bonds and Freddie Lynn. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle, your authority in sports nutrition since 1991 on Franklin across from Market of Choice in Eugene. News time, 7:24.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out in the next few minutes, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, so not that bad, with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 and a few gusts up to 15. Now, over the last few days, we've seen unbelievably warm temperatures thanks to a pocket of high pressure that's been over the area. But that high pressure is now moving away. It's already headed to the north. It's allowing a storm system that's in Northern California to start ejecting some of its energy towards us later this afternoon. That piece of energy will fire thunderstorms into the Cascades. That's about a 90% chance of that happening. The question becomes now, will they be able to escape the Cascades and work their way down into the valley? About a 50-50 chance after 4 p.m. we could see a few thunderstorms, so if you hear a couple of claps of thunder or see some lightning, that's what's going on. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Temps look to be in the mid to upper 70s out there, so a little bit cooler than the last few days. Winds will shift to the southwest at 5 to 10 with a few gusts up to 15. Now, we are tracking multiple storm systems headed this way. The next one looks to be Thursday night into your Friday morning with a cold front, and the system after that looks to be Saturday into your Sunday. Both are going to make the temps by the weekend in the 50s for your highs. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris destination, the NBC 16 Weather Center. Hoping you have a fantastic day.
Max Muscle Sports Nutrition is more than a nutrition store. Tom here at Max Muscle. If you want to make changes to your overall health, lose weight, build muscle, or if you just want to feel better, stop by, talk to a certified nutritionist. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, sponsored by Eugene's #1 electrical contractor, Builders Electric. Are you a person really interested in others? Do you listen closely to their comments, hopes, dreams, and wishes for life? Well, Voltaire, the famous philosopher, once said, "Judge others not by their answers, but by their questions." Those who are sincerely interested in others fill their conversations with lots of questions. And by asking those questions, we also get the opportunity to find out information that may help us be in a better position to help those other people. Listen today to the questions you ask. Someone's probably judging you by them. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
This Motivational Minute was brought to you by Builders Electric, providing honest, reliable, and positive contracting throughout the Willamette Valley since 1960. That's Builders Electric, CCB number 4296.
The Oregon guard threatens a pass to his big man. Slam dunk.
Precision counts, whether it's a big game on the line or your quality of life.
I had excruciating pain in my cheek and jaw, a condition called trigeminal neuralgia. My doctor recommended Sacred Heart Gamma Knife Center.
The physicians used highly focused, precise radiation beams to target the nerve. Game over for Mary's pain in just a few weeks. If you have severe facial pain, ask your primary doctor or specialist about Gamma Knife. Visit peacehealth.org/Gamma Knife to learn more.
Michelob Ultra is more than a superior light beer. It's taking in all life has to offer, like catching a wave or biking a long trail. And when you're done, you reach for a cold Michelob Ultra. Fewer carbs, fewer calories, more to look forward to. Michelob Ultra. Long live the ultra life. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra Light Beer, 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams protein, and 0 grams fat per 12-ounce serving. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo. I hear a polka and my troubles are through.
That concludes the musical portion of our program. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
The Wake Up Call with Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW 728. Glorious start to the day, even though it was a little cloudy earlier. Hey, look who's here. Joining us, as always, on a Wednesday, it's none other than Lise Wheel, star of such great motion pictures as Gone with the Wind. Also is seen occasionally on Fox as their legal analyst. Lise joins us on the Wake Up Call. Hi, Lise. Lise, are you there?
I came in from Gone with the Wind, and the wind is blowing.
Right. Anyway, so is everybody just totally just wound up about yesterday's primaries, or are they just glad it's over and they can move on?
I think people are just glad it's over. I mean, it was very exciting, very exciting. I think the outcome was pretty much, predetermined in the last couple of weeks. The polls were completely going that way. I guess for Trump it was a little bigger win than we thought, and for Kasich a little higher bump than people thought. But the outcome was pretty much what everybody thought. Same for Hillary. I think everybody thought that she was going to win and did. So, yeah, I don't think there were any surprises yesterday.
All right. Moving on, the families of the 9/11 victims are demanding, since we're talking about New York, the families of the 9/11 victims are demanding that President Obama declassify sealed documents. And it all has to do, a lot of it, with the Saudi connection to those deadly attacks. And Saudis, the Saudi Arabia, has basically said that they do that, they're going to sell billions of dollars worth of financial assets.
Right.
So where do we take this? What happens?
Well, you're right. It's very politically, very politically dangerous, obviously. the victims of 9/11 have sued various individuals and entities with only indirect ties to the attacks. They've included defendants who allegedly provided monetary support, money, to al-Qaeda prior to 9/11. But they've got problems in suing. One, they've got this 28 pages that they're demanding that our government release. And it's not just the Obama administration. This goes back. It's not just Obama. It goes back. And they're saying, no, the national security trumps all. We're not unsealing these 28 pages because of national security. I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows, well, somebody knows, but we don't know what's in those 28 pages. There's also something called the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, FSIA, which applies to all foreign states, including Saudi Arabia. It basically says, you can't sue a foreign state or their agents and instrumentalities. I quoted that there. So even if you get past this 28 pages and there's something really relevant in there, then this FSIA sticks you and you can't sue Saudi Arabia. So I feel for these families. I mean, I really do, all these years later, and they haven't been compensated or not very much, and Saudi Arabia may have put a lot of money into al-Qaeda to support them and what they did on that horrible day. But I don't know that this is going to help. Well, there has been some movement, though, lately in Congress and with some senators, mostly Republicans, to lift that seal on those 28 pages. So that's why all this is kind of rumbling up right now.
All right. As a former federal prosecutor, you look at this. You've got this group.
Right.
I mean, and let's just, even for the sake of conversation, let's not even talk about them being Saudi Arabia. You've got this group saying, we don't want you to open those documents. Don't open those documents. By God, don't open the documents, or we're going to, insert threat here.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you look at that and go, so how big a smoking gun is there? Yeah.
Right.
Well, but doesn't, I mean, it almost implies a certain amount of guilt.
Of course, that there's something bad in there. Absolutely. That they're holding this over my head, money. Absolutely. And it's billions of dollars. And now we've got President Obama over there. What's he doing over there? What's he negotiating about? I don't know. But again, if I were a federal prosecutor, is it way over my pay grade? Now look, if that would so tick me off that I'd say, I don't care if it's way over my pay grade. I'm going ahead with this. But the problem is with national security, I don't get to make that call. There's somebody way over my head that makes that call. And that's what these families are facing.
Can they then, through the courts, force them to prove that it is a national security issue?
There's somebody who, at the very highest level, that makes that decision. And yes, a court can step in and say, I want to see that in chambers, to be able to verify where this is national security and where it is not. Because sometimes you could take a document, for example, and you could redact certain portions. And you could take, you can go through every word and every if and the and say, well, this the is not national security. This and is not national security. This, but is not national security. You can literally go through a document and go word through word. And I'm getting kind of silly at this point, but you can see what I'm saying to make a larger point. That you can go through a document and say parts are redacted and parts are not. And I don't know whether they have now redacted all full 28 pages. I don't know what's in that. But if the Saudi government is getting this upset about it, there's got to be something in there.
All right. Lise, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning.
You've got it. Have a great day.
You too. Lise Wheel on News Radio 1120 KPNW at 734.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are sticking close to the flat line. The Dow is up 16 points, the Nasdaq up 7, and the S&P up a fraction, with the S&P holding at a 4-month high. Crude oil futures are slipping for the 5th time in 6 days, trading near $40 a barrel. Demand for mortgages rose slightly last week, but not because of any buying spree. A bankers group says total mortgage applications rose 1.33%, due only to requests to refinance. Refi applications were up 3%. Purchase loan demand fell 1%. If Wall Street were giving a review to Angie's List, it would be a D or maybe even an F. Shares in the business review site are sinking in early trading after it reported a surprise loss in the opening months of this year. Angie's List was hurt by rising costs as it breaks down its paywall in some cities for some services and as membership growth slowed from a year ago. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Oregon restricts hunting in spring to let animal populations recover from winter and raise their young. But spring is still a good time to get outdoors and hunt cougar, black bear, and turkey, along with a lot of small game, including coyotes and skunks. Skunks? Who wants to hunt skunks? Well, whatever you go for, check the regs first. Get your tags and head to Oak Grove Guns for your gear and ammunition. Oak Grove carries all the major brands, plus used firearms, and they take trades. Oak Grove Guns, proud to supply products to responsible gun owners.
Built for business. In business, time is money. In business, money is also money. No wonder nearly 1,000 businesses choose Comcast Business Internet over DSL from the phone company every single day. Not only is it up to 5 times faster, it's actually a better value when you go with the fastest plan. So take a minute out of your busy schedule and call Comcast Business. It will be well worth your time and your money.
Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add voice and TV for just $34.90 a month. And ask about our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 5/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to 1 voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet at an additional monthly charge. Equipment taxes and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Savings claim based on cost per megabits per second. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. And lots of them are there to help you care for your furry friends. Whether your pet needs a bath, a trim, a treat, or a toy, or even that necessary operation, you'll find the right place for all your pet's needs on West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Hear that? That's my buddy. He's saying it's time for a new toy. Go West, pet lovers. Go West.
This is an announcement for all people who want to take a risk-free challenge to whiten their teeth in 5 minutes. By calling now, you can whiten your teeth in 5 minutes using clinically proven power swabs. This risk-free challenge is for people whose smile has been yellowed by coffee, tea, red wine, or smoking. The Power Swabs 5-minute challenge is available by responding to this advertisement. If lines are busy, try again. Because the Power Swabs 5-minute challenge is exclusive, it's not available in drugstores. Power Swabs was formulated by Dr. Martin Ginniger and whitens teeth with a patented tooth detergent and whitening agent. It's so effective, we challenge you to try it for 5 minutes to see how white your smile could be. Get it risk-free. Dial 1-800-973-6563. 1-800-973-6563. Transform your smile into a wow, you look great smile. Dial 1-800-973-6563. 1-800-973-6563.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out in the next few minutes, we're looking at mostly clear skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, so not that bad, with winds out of the south at 5 to 10 and a few gusts up to 15. Now, over the last few days, we've seen unbelievably warm temperatures thanks to a pocket of high pressure that's been over the area. But that high pressure is now moving away. It's already headed to the north. It's allowing a storm system that's in northern California to start ejecting some of its energy towards us later this afternoon. That piece of energy will fire thunderstorms into the Cascades. That's about a 90% chance of that happening. The question becomes now, will they be able to escape the Cascades and work their way down into the valley? About a 50-50 chance after 4 p.m. we could see a few thunderstorms, so if you hear a couple of claps of thunder or see some lightning, that's what's going on. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Temps look to be in the mid to upper 70s out there, so a little bit cooler in the last few days. Winds will shift to the southwest at 5 to 10 with a few gusts up to 15. Now, we are tracking multiple storm systems headed this way. The next one looks to be Thursday night into your Friday morning with a cold front, and the system after that looks to be Saturday into your Sunday. Both are going to make the temps by the weekend in the 50s for your highs. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Okay, ready?
Holloway in London.
Okay.
And the wake-up call.
I've got good news.
News Radio 1120, KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Joining us on the wake-up call, it is City Councilor for the City of Eugene and the west part of town. It's none other than Mike Clark on the wake-up call. Hey, Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
We're fine. And, boy, you called us gentlemen. Wow, what a poor judge of character you are.
He must be in election mode already.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
you must be running for office.
You know, my mom always taught me, default to be a nice guy. How's that?
Okay. Anyway, thanks for being with us this morning. Let's just get right into it.
Yes, sir.
So, the City Hall.
Yes, sir.
What can this be any bigger or larger a boondoggle? I mean, are you guys just getting started on adding more and more until you can get this puppy up to at least $50 to $60 million?
I chuckled there because it's so frustrating for me. But the subject is a serious one, and it's not funny. We've gotten to a place with this that is silly. I mean, by any observation, this is silly at this point. It makes me kind of sad. I've advocated, if you go back and look, in 2010, I wrote a piece for the newspaper about why we should buy EWEB and make that our new city hall. I wrote a similar one in 2012, but lost that vote at the council 5-3. All of the things in the pieces that I wrote that I predicted would happen and become a problem in rebuilding City Hall on that site have all come to pass, unfortunately. So I'm not sure what to expect presented as the way forward, but I believe, unless I can be persuasive with my colleagues, there's still a majority that wants to continue on the path we're on.
And now we have gone from, what, 13 million to almost 25?
It was 15 because that's the money we have set aside. And then it was, let's add a fourth floor, so it's now 17.8. And then the most recent presentation that takes it up closer to 25 with seismic retrofit and some of the other changes that are being proposed. Personally, I can't see how I could support that at all. Not at this point. It's just gotten a little too silly for me.
So Evans seems to be kind of this swing guy. I mean, am I correct in my assumption of that?
He's one of the other people that voted with me initially that buying EWEB, getting more than twice the space for half the price. And by the way, I still think we could get that for $10 or $12 million and have 58,000 square feet rather than what we're currently planning, which is 25,000 square feet for $25 million at the moment, and hoping that the costs don't continue to rise. I just think it's a bad path. But Greg was with me initially on that.
For people that maybe missed why, I mean, what's been their argument as far as why they're not interested in EWEB?
There's a number of people who had, on the council who just thought that was the wrong way to go. We own the full block of property. There were a lot of folks and business owners downtown who did not like that idea. I think that was reflected in the mayor's comments at the time. I don't understand that personally. There are those who say, well, the building wasn't really for sale. But I believe a majority of the board of EWEB would probably have been willing to consider that sale. I know they wrote so in a letter to the city. So
it was kind of surprising to hear a city councilor say, in regards to these just constant additions and constant increases in the cost, that, people should expect this. This should be expected. I'm talking about Councillor Claire Syrett. And while I'm not going to ask you to explain what she was thinking, I will ask you whether that type of thinking is pretty much classic as to what is the expectation of government at this point. That, yeah, they're going to have these projects and they say they'll cost this, but we all know it's going to cost considerably more, 40%, 50% more.
I want to give Claire the benefit of the doubt, and I certainly don't want to characterize or unintentionally mischaracterize comments from my colleagues. I don't like doing that. I don't understand that statement very well.
Well, you were there at the meeting. I mean, you heard it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If in fact that was the point, if in fact that was her intent, I'm not sure it was, and that we should just normally expect that sort of thing. I think that's unfortunate. I don't believe that's true. But I want to give Claire the benefit of the doubt that that's not what she meant, and she perhaps misspoke there.
Okay. Nice coverage for a colleague.
There are people I disagree with, but I've never been the sort that believes that you have to attack people you disagree with. I tend to like the people I think who are very smart, who I disagree with from time to time. Those folks can help me learn things, and that's okay with me. You know?
Okay, the decision as to whether to go ahead with an additional, let's see, what are we looking at here? About $8 million for the City Hall, put off until next week. What is the expectation of what's going to happen between now and then?
I believe my understanding is we're supposed to receive from staff more detailed information. I know that both George Brown and I asked for it, and I know George sent an email to staff here this last few days ago. And so we'll see, I think, more line item detail from the city, and the council will probably have a discussion about what the way forward looks like, whether we pick and choose pieces of this that we'd like to do or wouldn't like to do, or whether there perhaps is some other option.
City Administrator John Reese has come under fire from a number of residents around the area in regards to a number of issues, not just this one with City Hall. I guess I would throw this issue out there as just kind of a general question. What is your opinion of the job that the city administrator is doing, and whether the criticisms that are being leveled at him are, I'm not going to use the word fair, but whether they're merited, maybe?
Right. They're not. And after that setup, this is going to sound really funny, but John Reese is the best city manager we've ever had. I firmly believe that. He's caught in a difficult position right now, and it's this. There's a majority of council who often give him direction that is difficult to accomplish. I'll just, without getting too deep in the weeds there, I'll leave it at that. He's also bound by state law. The staff is bound by state law about what they can and can't do. And he has to walk a very delicate line between what the majority of council want and what the state law requires of folks on staff. And that's sometimes difficult to do, and the way it looks publicly can sometimes lead to that kind of assumption that maybe they're doing something that they shouldn't. But I know John Reese very well as a person, and I'm so glad he's our city manager.
Okay. You are running for folks that don't know, you are running for mayor of the city of Eugene. A couple of questions in regards to that. One of them off the email this morning. And it's asked Mike, does he think the people in Eugene should get training and get a CHL, or should there be less people that carry guns?
Wow.
Because the current mayor is vehemently anti-gun. I think that's why this question is being asked.
Right. I'm a more conservative person politically, and I don't talk about this sort of thing very often because that's not the job of a city councilor or a mayor, from my perspective, to harp on ideology too much. But I am that because of my fierce belief in the importance of people's individual and civil rights. So the Second Amendment is a part of that for me, and the courts ruled on it. People have an individual right And I believe that the first job of government is to protect people's rights. So whether or not we should have more folks carrying concealed, I don't know. If I have an opinion on that, that's really not the job of the mayor. There are more important things to speak to, like spend time trying to make the economy better, spend time trying to deal with the issues around homelessness and trying to come to some better kind of solution. Spending time doing the things that our city government should focus on.
Since you brought up homelessness, another question asked had to do with the homeless camps. Are you in favor of expanding those to more areas?
No, I don't think that's the solution, because anybody will tell you who's in the service provision part of this work, from the folks at the Mission, from Jack Tripp over there and the great work they're doing, to any other folks that are serving, will say that even though our homeless count says there's something in the range of 2,000 people that are homeless in any given evening, those folks will tell you it's closer to 3,000. And I believe that to be accurate. So if you're going to solve this problem with camps, and everybody knows you can't have more than about 20 folks in one particular camp or things get problematic, you'd be taught, and one of my opponents has proposed this idea, and I really don't understand how they think that the people of our community would be okay with 150 homeless camps spread throughout the town. I don't think that's a good idea, no.
Where are they planning to put these camps?
That would be my question, and I don't have an answer for you. But that was recently proposed at council during a public forum, and that certainly won't solve the problem. We're dealing with this fundamentally wrong, in my opinion.
Mike Clark on with this on the Wake Up Call. I heard the debate with your opponents, and it was addressed that, we do have this issue, but I didn't hear any concrete, this is what we need to do. If we're not going to do the camps, what would be your proposal right now to solve this?
Well, it's not a quick fix problem. It's cities all over the country are dealing with it, but we're not trying to solve it right now. What we're trying to do is serve those folks who are homeless who have an interest in getting help. That's only half the problem.
Where would you start?
Sorry?
Where would you start then?
Well, the other half of the problem has to do with how we deal with the folks who are unwilling to take any help that's offered. Those who, and as a community, what we keep doing is enabling those folks to live in a dysfunctional way. And the first thing the city has to do is stop enabling folks to make that choice. The Mission has a great program in that what they do is say, cool, we're happy to help and take care of the things that you need, but you have to stop drinking or you have to stop using in order to be a part of that. That's the sort of thing we need to do. We need to make sure that folks aren't trapping themselves into a dangerous lifestyle, and we gotta stop making it okay for them to make that choice.
How do you believe that the city makes that okay for them, specifically?
By not enforcing, and part of it is we can't. There's a Ninth Circuit opinion that.
Okay, then if you can't enforce it, then how can you stop doing it?
Well, you can't until such a time as folks who are homeless have another option about where they can go. If there's no place for them to go, then it becomes a legal problem with the court decision about being able to enforce appropriately without some alternative about where they can go, and that's one of the things we need to do. We need to help expand some of the private options that are currently available and working, like the Mission, like St. Vincent de Paul.
What do you think about, do you think the city of Eugene will eventually get to a point where they'll do something akin to Springfield, where you can't panhandle on street corners anymore, trying to get motorists to give you coin?
I get why a lot of people think that's a good idea. I understand the wisdom of that thinking. I just doubt that there are 5 city councilors who would ever vote in favor of it in Eugene. Maybe 1 or 2. But I doubt you could get 5 current Eugene city councilors to vote in favor of that. So I don't think it's a realistic option here.
Are you in favor of the MUPTI? And for folks that don't know, I don't remember the exact acronym, but essentially you build a multi-unit
property tax exemption. And in the abstract, no, because it's not fair. I believe its specific use as a tool within that little downtown district as rewritten by George Brown and I, it's necessary, unfortunately. We as a community want to build up faster than we build out. It's more expensive to build in the core of our community, and that's where we need people to live. That's where we need the growing up part to occur, and it's much more expensive, mostly because our community decided a long time ago that we want to have everything to say about everything that gets built. Now, if it were less regulatory, my preference would be that it's less regulatory, there's less regulatory burden to rebuilding in our core, in which case it would be a great deal less expensive and we wouldn't need MUPI, and that's the smart way to go from my perspective.
Well, you mentioned about building up, but yet you have the situation out in South Eugene where they want to build up in the middle of neighborhoods.
Right.
So where's this building up going to be?
In the core is what I said when I was talking about that specifically within the MUPI district in our downtown. Out in the South Willamette Special Area Zone, in that part of South Willamette neighborhoods, what we're talking about there is an entirely different thing. That's reinterpreting or rezoning R1 single-family housing. And as I mentioned at the top, one of the things that's most important to me is protecting people's rights. I think that's what government's for. And so, as a result, protecting those folks' rights to the livability of their home was very important to me, and that's why I proposed that we slow that down and stop that plan.
All right. Mike, we're out of time. I appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call.
Thank you guys very much. Have a good day.
All right. We'll talk to you again. Mike Clark, City Councilor, City of Eugene, on the Wake Up Call this morning, where it is 7:56.
How would you like to make up to $20,000 a month flipping houses with no risk? Hi, my name is Nick Vertucci, and over the last 2 years, my elite team of house flippers have flipped over 800 properties by using my 3-step flipping system that guarantees quick profits. And this year, we plan to double it. I'm growing my team in your area, and I'm looking for help. I have more cash available than deals right now, so I need you. All interested candidates, call now and take an inside peek of my flipping system. I'll rush you out a free copy of my Fortunes in Flipping CD kit that will show you how easy it is to get in, get out, and get paid immediately flipping houses if you come join my team.
Call 1-800-449-3149 now to get your free flipping kit. Call 800-449-3149 and you'll also get free tickets to a training workshop. That includes a free meal, a smartphone watch, and a USB flash drive loaded with Nick's powerful information as free gifts just for attending. Call 800-449-3149. That's 800-449-3149. Call now.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows. We do windows,
doors,
and installation
for less.
CCB 180018. If you're thinking about a new RV or an RV upgrade, don't make a decision without seeing what the RV Corral can do for you. At the RV Corral, serving you is at the top of their list. It all starts with their newly expanding award-winning service and parts department. Are you looking to sell or consign your RV? The RV Corral will buy your RV for cash or free consignment. High trade-in allowance too. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Belline. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
Is it time to sell your house, and do you have work that needs to be done first, but you don't have the money? The bottom line is that when you improve your property, you get more money than other homeowners.
Over the years, Harpole Real Estate with Keller Williams Realty understands this better than any other agent or company because they outsell all other agents. Eric, Jeanette, and their entire team will put up their own money to make sure you get the most out of your house. Their enhanced listing will help clean up, repair, and upgrade your home to get you in the best position to maximize your home sale. Everyone's situation is different, so call for a free no-pressure consultation, 541-286-5600. 3030.
Unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions and an exclusive enhanced listing, and you can cancel at any time. With agents in Lane, Douglas, and Lynn counties, call Harpole Real Estate, 541-286-3030, 541-286-3030, online at harpolehomes.com.
Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife populations, but it's just one of the risks animals face. The best way to protect wildlife is to protect the land on which they live. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust works with private landowners to protect wildlife by preserving natural habitats and establishing permanent sanctuaries. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust to save your land, call 1-800-729-SAVE or visit wildlifelandtrust.org.
We report, you decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. Iran ordered to pay up for deadly attacks overseas that killed Americans. Fox's Jared Halpern details this morning's Supreme Court ruling, live from Washington.
The relatives of the 241 U.S. Marines who died in a 1983 terror attack in Beirut and other attacks linked to Iran can collect $2 billion. A 6-2 Supreme Court ruling upholds lower court judgments. Congress passed a law in 2012 directing U.S.-held assets from Iran's Bank Markazi be turned over to those families. The bank argued that law violates separation of powers, accusing the legislative branch of meddling with judicial decisions. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg describing the provision as a valid exercise of Congress's legislative power. Dave.
Jared, Bernie Sanders is in Vermont. The Democrat taking a day off after senior strategist says they'll be reevaluating things following the 5 primaries next week after Hillary Clinton routed him in New York's presidential primary.
The Clinton camp believes they still have a long way to go to bring Bernie Sanders along. Last night, Clinton aides were telling me they weren't even sure if Sanders and Clinton spoke by phone. They're far apart from bringing this party together.
Fox's Ed Henry, fresh off taking nearly all of New York's 95 Republican delegates, Donald Trump says
Senator Cruz is just about mathematically eliminated.
If Cruz is in Pennsylvania urging Republicans to unite around him, John Kasich's campaign's telling voters in the 5 states with primaries next week to back him, adding it's now or never to stop Trump. More Americans are getting ready to move. Previously owned home sales rose more than 5% last month. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 11 points. At the Senate,
ayes are 85. The nays are 12.
Approving an energy bill promoting solar and wind power and other renewable energy sources. However, that will have to be reconciled with a House bill that would boost fossil fuels like oil and coal. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
Most of us will experience some form of lower back pain in our lifetime. In fact, outside of the common cold, it's the most prevalent reason for missing work in the United States. Injuries and improper lifting can frequently cause lower back pain. But did you know that illness and infection can also cause moderate to severe discomfort? Many of the conditions can be diagnosed and treated with a visit to an orthopedic physician or pain management specialist. It's important to identify the cause of back pain before effectively treating the problem.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
President Obama's in Saudi Arabia amid tense relations over 9/11. Fox's Jessica Gallagher is live in Riyadh.
Dave, this is President Obama's 4th visit here to the kingdom and comes amid strained relations. At issue is legislation that the families of the victims of the 9/11 attacks want passed. The bill would allow them to sue the Saudi government for any role it may have played in the violence. The kingdom has never officially been found complicit. Saudi Arabia is promising to pull billions out of the U.S. economy if the bill passes. The White House is against it. Riyadh is also worried about the Islamic Republic. It believes Tehran is upsetting the balance of power in the region. The president will address ISIS ISIS, al-Qaeda, and other issues tomorrow at the Gulf Cooperation Council Summit. Dave.
Jessica, shipwreck in the Mediterranean Sea may be a humanitarian disaster. The UN's refugee agency says up to 500 people are feared dead. Survivors say human smugglers tried to transfer passengers on one boat from Libya to Italy to another, creating terrible overcrowding, and the bigger boat sank. It's now up to 7 dead in the Houston area after torrential rain put homes and roads underwater.
All 7 of the victims so far have been found in submerged vehicles on Houston area roadways, some of which are still under 3 feet of water. Damage estimates are already in the billions, less than 1 year after historic flooding last Memorial Day weekend, and more rain is in the forecast today. Bayous and creeks in the northwest part of Houston are receding, but that water is now flowing to rivers and tributaries to the south, bringing on a new threat to homes and businesses all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. In Houston, Nick Rajkovic, Fox News.
A week after a black teenager was shot by Chicago police, Pierre Lowry's mother suing the city and 2 officers in federal court, claiming her son presented no threat during a chase. Police say he was a suspect in a shooting and fled from a car, and that an officer only opened fire after Lowry turned and pointed a gun at them. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Roadways looking good on a Wednesday. Like that trend. News Radio 1120 KPNW with the Wake Up Call, live and local from the Whitmer Brothers studio at 8:05 with the sunny, cloudy mix. High of 75, partly cloudy and 48 tonight. Partly cloudy and 71 tomorrow, and then rain coming in and going to be kind of with us visiting throughout the weekend. Kind of like your mother-in-law that just kind of wants to hang out a day or two longer than probably she should.
Not
okay,
all
so
mother-in-laws are bad.
I said yours.
My mother-in-law is not bad.
Coming up, we got Isaac Jackson, also going to qualify you for the Cuthbert Season Pass. That's going to be a cool grand prize, and if you come away with that, you're going to have a busy summer. Wendy's in Japan, selling a new burger that uses baby corn as a topping along with cream cheese, a cream cheese-based cream corn sauce. You got your lettuce, your onions, tomato, and a pretzel bun.
That might not be bad. Ooh, I love pretzel buns.
I'm with you on that. I don't know if the baby corn and the cream cheese burger cost $5.87 in Japan.
Well, the folks at Red Wagon Creamery put cream corn and ice cream, and it was awesome. I don't know. I think you're being too...
Ice cream in burgers, kind of a different flavor requirement.
I think you're judging it too harshly.
I think you'll never find that at the Northwest Burger Crew. I don't think we'll have to send them a note or an email saying, maybe you can leave this one alone. Well, hey, you know what? If it sells crazy, if it sells like hotcakes, I'm sure we'll see it over here. I mean, if it makes a big swell. $5.87, yeah, I could take a bite and that'd be good. Coming up, like I said, Isaac Jackson, and 2, in fact, closer than that, will be news.
Yeah, we'll have these stories in just a couple of seconds. We'll take a look at Lane County's latest employment numbers, and I'll just let you know, they're looking pretty good. Also, election stuff, a lot of election news, including, you've got some deadlines coming up. We'll also let you know when the ballots are coming out. We'll take a look at those stories. And once again, the Oregon Department of Justice and its lawyers getting a good, firm finger wagging at, courtesy of a local area federal judge. Those stories and more brought to you by none other than Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, coming up live and local here on KPNW.
News time 8:08.
Burrito Amigos salutes the letter T. In English, T usually denotes the voiceless alveolar plosive, as in the words tap and tame, or taco, torta, and tostada, which really aren't English words, but if you're going to use examples, they should be delicious. And if they start with a T and they come from Burrito Amigos, well, they are. Now you can have your tortas, tacos, and tostadas with chicken, shredded beef, carne asada, made with certified black Angus, or adobada, an amazing, spicy, tasty grilled pork. And none of those selections have the letter T, but carnitas does. So if you're a voiceless alveolar plosive purist, then you'll enjoy that in your Burrito Amigos, torta, taco, and tostada. In case you're wondering, a torta is sort of a grilled sandwich made on torta bread. Tamales and taquitos are also delicious Burrito Amigos T words. So is tofu, which some people want in their burritos from Burrito Amigos. Burrito Amigos, they didn't invent the letter T, they just made examples using it more delicious. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, working their way through the alphabet, one tasty treat at a time.
Shopping for your next grill at Midgley's is easy and convenient. Unlike home improvement stores, a walk across Midgley's doesn't require a relay baton. We know all about grills, too. Just don't ask us about sandpaper or toilet seats. And you don't need to remember where you parked. Our customer-friendly lot is directly behind our store. Get your next grill at Midgley's. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
Tired of expensive movie theater popcorn or standing in line or having to drive home after watching the big game at your annoying uncle's house? It sounds like you need to have the folks from TV Specialty in your life. Nobody does TVs like TV Specialty. Think a home theater system is out of the question or out of the budget? Call TV Specialty and see how close you really are. 541-688-5061. It's quality backed by service at TV Specialty. 541-688-5061.
Local news, local people. The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, a judge has ordered the state to pay more than $318,000 to lawyers representing a Eugene man who was kicked in the chest by an Oregon State police captain after a chase. That kick, by the way, broke the man's collarbone. U.S. District Judge Michael McShane's order blames Oregon Department of Justice attorneys who represented Captain Rob Edwards for the costly legal bill. McShane says during the January trial, state lawyers filed 22 groundless objections, and one attorney pretended to be asleep while plaintiff Justin Wilkins was testifying. Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum issued a statement saying the DOJ is working to make sure lawyers are aware of standards regarding courtroom behavior. One would assume if they work for Oregon's Department of Justice, which is essentially the state's largest legal firm, that they would already know how to act in court. The state has appealed the jury's ruling that found Edwards violated Wilkins' civil rights in the 2012 incident. Well, yesterday morning, a two-story house that had been converted into 3 apartments burst into flames. Eugene Springfield Fire Department's Deputy Chief Randy DeWitt was on the scene.
That upstairs unit was heavily involved in fire on our arrival, with fire coming out of all 3 front windows. The good news is all the occupants made it out safely prior to our arrival, so we could focus on fire suppression.
All 7 of the people that lived in the house escaped the blaze before it got out of control. Once the fire was put out, the structure was deemed uninhabitable. The fire marshal says that actually the fire burned the structure so completely the cause is almost impossible to discern and will be listed as undetermined. Now, as far as those 7 people, well, they lost their homes. Right now, the Red Cross is helping them with temporary shelter. The March employment estimates are out, and Lane County seems to be following statewide trends.
Lane County's seasonally unadjusted unemployment rate dropped to 4.9% in March. And that's the lowest unemployment rate since December of 1999.
Lane County employment economist Brian Rooney says for the past couple of years, Lane County's experienced employment growth of between 2 to 2.5%. Baby boom retirements have created opportunities in the mostly full-time jobs, according to statewide data. Douglas County is also doing fairly well.
But that 6.2% unemployment rate is the lowest seasonally adjusted rate since we started producing a seasonally adjusted rate in 1990 in Douglas County.
Their growth rate sits at 1.8%. The statewide rate is 3.4%. And while it's being Douglas County's numbers are lower and slower, still, all things considered, Rooney says it's good news. Oregon's largest private employer is about to get smaller, meaning that well, the unemployment rate, at least on the statewide level, may go up a bit. Brad Ford reports on Intel's job cuts.
Intel grew into a company employing more than 100,000 people by making chips for personal computers, but PC sales are down. CFO Stacy Smith tells CNBC now they have to change to produce products used in cloud computing.
We're looking at the restructuring as a way to actually build on our strong execution and accelerate it.
As many as 12,000 Intel employees will lose their jobs. Smith is not saying how that will affect Oregon, specifically Hillsboro.
This is a worldwide action. It's not concentrated in any one geography.
If the cuts are made evenly, around 2,000 Intel employees in Oregon could be looking for new jobs. The cuts will happen over the next year. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Oregon State Police are looking for witnesses to an accident on Highway 99 near Clear Lake Road, just north of Eugene. That incident left a pedestrian dead.
Person was walking or in the lane of travel when they were struck by a 2003 Dodge pickup.
Bill Fugate of the OSP says the preliminary investigation revealed that the pickup, driven by 69-year-old Ray Lunt, was traveling southbound on 99 when it struck the pedestrian. The pedestrian was pronounced dead at the scene. Highway 99 was partially closed for 4 hours during that investigation. Well, if you've visited Cottage Grove's downtown historic district, you maybe have noticed those huge cracks and large heaves in the sidewalk. Maybe you've stumbled over them. Well, the problems were caused by trees that were improperly planted decades ago. 27 of the most hazardous spots were improved, if not fully repaired, yesterday. Big part of the concern, beyond the way they looked, was the tripping hazard.
I brought that to our EBID, the Economic Business Improvement District downtown, and I worked to get a company called Safe Sidewalks, LLC, to come out. And what they did was they took a piece of machinery and shaved the sidewalk off and made it level.
According to Cottage Grove Main Street coordinator Shauna Nye, the total cost of the project was just over $3,000. The Economic and Business Improvement District derives its funding from membership dues paid by businesses within the Cottage Grove downtown boundary. This year's presidential primary has moved closer to Oregon. Donald Trump's campaign just opened an office in Eugene. The office on West 7th Place is Trump's first official Oregon campaign office. Bernie Sanders' Oregon team also opened an office in Eugene earlier in the month on Friendly Street. Election season is here, and Lane County Clerk Cheryl Betchart says if you aren't already, you need to register to vote if you want to before it's too late.
The voter registration deadline is Tuesday, April 26th.
You're registered, but still are undecided on a party, and you plan to become a DR or I, you have to choose a side before the 26th as well.
We will be dropping off ballots to the post office on April 28th, and voters can expect to see those in their mailboxes and at their residences starting on April 29th.
Voters are going to decide who will be the next mayor of Eugene. There will be several city council and e-web positions up for grabs, as well as voting for primary candidates for president and a number of other national and statewide races. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are celebrating big wins in New York, while Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and John Kasich look ahead to the next voting contest.
Thank you, New York! We've won in every region of the country. From the north to the south to the east to the west, but this one's personal.
We're going to celebrate for about 2 hours. Then early in the morning, I get up and we begin working again.
While I congratulate Secretary Clinton, I must say that I am really concerned about the conduct of the voting process in New York State.
Are America's greatest generations in our past, or our best days yet ahead?
People are worried about their jobs. Can they keep their jobs? And wages. Can their wages go up? But the other thing they worry about is their children's future. Can our kids get an education, and can they have a better life than what we have?
Up next on the calendar, contests in Connecticut, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Delaware. All are scheduled for next Tuesday. If you eat bass, the Oregon Health Authority says, don't eat so much. Brad Ford reports.
Bass eat smaller fish that contain mercury, and that causes the mercury to build up to dangerous levels in bass. David Fair with the Oregon Health Authority says that's dangerous to people.
Mercury can
really cause problems with the nervous system.
They're warning you to limit bass to no more than 6 meals a month for most people, but for pregnant women and babies, they should eat no more than 2 meals a month.
The most sensitive population is developing babies.
It doesn't matter where the fish are caught in Oregon. The mercury comes from pollution produced in the state, coal burned in Asia that falls as pollution in Oregon, and some of the mercury occurs naturally. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, banking is still a fairly sizable hurdle for the legal marijuana industry, but new federal data suggests that's changing a little bit. The number of banks and credit unions telling the government that they're actually handling pot money has jumped about fivefold in the past 2 years, from 51 in March of 2014 to 301 last month. And in Washington state, most marijuana businesses are now paying taxes electronically instead of in cash, like they're doing here in Oregon. The progress, though, is still relatively slight, and it's still tough for marijuana businesses to get loans, even up in Washington and here in Oregon, where regulated sales are legal. Because so many pot dealers pay taxes in cash, states like Oregon and Colorado have turned government offices into mini fortresses handling safe payments. That issue soon to come to California, Arizona, and Nevada, where they're also considering legalizing marijuana this year. The Independent Party of Oregon got some clarity this week on how it's going to be allowed to pick a presidential nominee during the first state-run primary election next month for the independents. The Oregon Department of Justice said that whichever presidential candidate wins the most write-ins on the ballot doesn't necessarily have to be the party's nominee. Instead, party leaders can have the final say under certain parameters. Party leaders say it gives them the same rights afforded to Republicans and Democrats, who use mostly delegates to select presidential nominees. The Secretary of State has urged the Independent Party of Oregon to communicate with voters to avoid confusion. Well, a bill has passed the U.S. Senate that'll keep 3 locations open for business in Oregon to test unmanned aircraft systems. Senator Ron Wyden says it's a driving force in the growth of businesses in the state to design and build unmanned aircraft.
Creating jobs and boosting the economy statewide with commercial uses that include mountaintop rescue and agricultural applications.
The 3 testing locations are Pendleton, Warm Springs, and Tillamook. The FAA has also chosen Oregon State University as a center of excellence for unmanned aircraft systems. The bill will allow the testing to continue until 2022. Well, AAA is out with its list of the top 5 greenest cars. Brad Ford reports the top car on the list is popular, but also fairly spendy.
The Tesla Model S70D has a 240-mile range, which is one of the most attractive features if you're looking to take a longer drive.
It's spendy. In fact, it also is number 1 in our category for best green cars that cost you over $50,000.
AAA's Marie Dodd says the BMW i3 ranks second, followed by the Volkswagen e-Golf. The one non-electric model in the top 5 is the Subaru Outback 2.5i Premium.
Great fuel efficiency. It's a comfortable car. It offers you all-wheel drive.
The top 3 reasons that drivers go green are the lower fuel cost, environmental impact, and maintenance costs. Brad Ford, KPNW.
It's 8:21. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
NBA in Atlanta, Game 2 of the Hawks and the Boston Celtics over minutes into it. Jeff Teague hit the opening three-pointer, and they never looked back, running off to a 24-3 lead. Hawks allowed 4 more points for the Celtics in the first quarter for a total of 7. Hawks wind up with the win, 89-72, up 2-1 on the Celtics. In San Antonio, Memphis Grizzlies scored less than the Celtics. They're having a tough time against the San Antonio Spurs, getting absolutely shut down 94-68 to go down 2-0. Blazers try to get back into their series with the Clippers tonight. Phoenix has a new coach. They're taking the interim tag off the nameplate of Earl Watson. The Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling team came up 5 points short at the Nationals Finals in Waco against number 1 Baylor. The national champs Bears coached quite well. Felicia Mulkey is their coach. She used to coach the Ducks. Former Duck quarterback Vernon Adams had a workout with the LA Rams, and his performance was listed as, quote, really impressive. NFL draft is a week from tomorrow. Johnny Manziel, by the way, lost his second agent in 2 months. Pac-12 named Devin Allen and Hannah Cunliffe as track athletes of the week. Allen won 3 events of the Oregon Relays in the 200, the 110 hurdles, and the 400 hurdles, along with contributing to a winning 4x100 relay. Cunliffe, second in the 100 and 200 in her meet at the Mount Sac Relays, along with helping the 4x100 team win as they clocked the 3rd fastest time in NC2A history. 2 of OSU's best baseball players ever have been named to the Pac-12 All-Century Baseball team. Jacoby Ellsbury and Michael Conforto, who both played professionally in New York, named to the outfield with the likes of Barry Bonds and Fred Lynn. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle, where you can always try before you buy it. On Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time 8:24.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we have mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s. Light winds out of the south at 5 to 10. Now, as we move through the day, we're tracking a storm system over California that will eject energy up Interstate 5. That means we will see thunderstorms triggering along the Cascades. The question now becomes, will they be able to drift into the valley? 50-50 chance that we'll see that late afternoon into the evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. Highs on the cooler side, only in the mid to upper 70s, with light winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. This is just the beginning of several days of storm systems headed this way, each one bringing the temps down a little bit more until highs this weekend are only in the mid to low 50s with mostly cloudy skies and a good chance of rain. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
This winter, we received more rainfall than in the past 75 years. Severe weather could cause damage to your home's foundation. Ramjack can fix that. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com.
CCB 146906.
Sherry's invented Free Pie Wednesday because, well, we love pie. Sweet Montana cherry, Oregon Marionberry made with Northwest fruit, chocolate cream supreme, sour cream lemon pie made with real whipped cream, s'mores galore, and many more. That's why we've won over 25 gold medals at the National Pie Championships. Enjoy a free slice of your favorite Sherry's pie with dinner tonight from 4 to 10 at Sherry's Cafe and Pies.
I'm not a bodybuilder.
I am not an athlete.
I'm not into health clubs.
I do not eat junk food.
I am not a young man anymore.
I am exercising daily. I am feeling great. I am loving life.
I am Max Muscle. Max Muscle Sports Nutrition, Franklin Boulevard, Eugene.
Hi, this is Bill London. Hey, guess what's coming up this Thursday? It's another Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by KPNW, Western Beverage, and Widmer Brothers. And we are going to be out at Sam's on Wilson from 4 to 7 o'clock. Besides sharing some great brews, we're going to give you a chance to win season tickets to the Cuthbert Amphitheater for all of the shows. They're going to be there this season. So it's a great way to win and a great way to have some fun with friends. It's Sam's on Wilson. It's a Thirsty Thursday with KPNW.
Oregon restricts hunting in spring to let animal populations recover from winter and raise their young. But spring is still a good time to get outdoors and hunt cougar, black bear, and turkey, along with a lot of small game, including coyotes and skunks. Skunks? Who wants to hunt skunks? Well, whatever you go for, check the regs first. Get your tags and head to Oak Grove Guns for your gear and ammunition. Oak Grove carries all the major brands, plus used firearms, and they take trades. Oak Grove Guns, proud to supply products to responsible gun owners.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-705-8536. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-705-8536. That's 1-800-705-8536.
I won't mention any names, but their initials are
Holloway in London.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. All of a sudden, she has become nearly a frequent flyer on the Wake Up Call. Ann Ritalik joining us on the Wake Up Call from, of course, the Eugene Concert Choir. And she's back in studio. And you guys have first off, the event a couple of weeks ago. Is it that long ago now? 2 weeks?
Yes.
How did it go?
It was the most spectacular concert. We actually handed out packets of tissues because we knew people would need them.
And maybe for people that didn't hear the conversation, kind of reiterate what it was
So
about.
we had talked about this. We commissioned a new major work called Shadow and Light, which was giving voice to those with Alzheimer's disease and the caregivers who accompany them on this journey, this heart-wrenching journey where someone transforms into a different person, basically, and how you resolve that and continue to love. And oh my goodness, this was a world premiere, and everybody has told me that we have just added a new masterpiece to choral repertoire. People were in tears throughout, and so many people came up and said, "How did you know to tell my story? Everything that you sang about, it was about me. It was about my experience." We moved people incredibly with this performance.
There was talk about there being a film or a documentary, some kind of documentation of it where people could see it.
Yes, we're going to be working on that right now. I mean, I have one big project coming up in a week, and we did a recording so that we will have a CD recording of this work. We also will have a concert video of it that we will put up on YouTube, and people can actually experience it. And we've been doing a video documentary of the whole process, from interviewing people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers, and how the composer has put the music together. How do you express through music this whole experience? And we will have a video documentary coming out about that as well. So people who, there were a lot of people who said, "I would love to have gone. I just didn't think that I could sit through what the topic was about, Alzheimer's." And then those who did come said, "I am so glad I came, and I hope everyone can experience this."
All right. Moving on to your next little performance, which is going to be a little big performance coming up Saturday, the 30th, at the Silva Concert Hall at the Holt. I can't even pronounce it, but it's Florentino and the Devil, right?
Florentino and the Devil, yes. The title of the work is Cantada Criolla. Cantada just means a work that is sung. Means,
the choral work.
Yeah. And then criolla is the Spanish influence in South America. So this is the most fantastic piece. It's Eugene Concert Choir, 100-voice choir. We are doing this with the Eugene Symphony, the whole big symphony. We have the two most prominent soloists coming from Caracas, Venezuela. Eduardo Alvarez is the tenor, and he plays the role of Florentino. And then Gaspar Colon is the baritone, and of course, the baritone is the devil. So, Florentino and the Devil. It's almost like a rap contest, if you can imagine this. It's a singing duel.
So they're doing the dozens, is what you're saying. Like in the blues, they're doing the dozens.
Well, I'm thinking more like Eminem, and then dropping the mic, because
look at you go. I like it.
Because Florentino is this plainsman. He's on his horse. He's riding across the plains, and this mysterious figure dressed in black comes up behind him and challenges him to a duel, a singing duel, when you get to town. And so when they get to town, Florentino is just known as the person who can sing and rhyme in in couplets. It's a particular type of rhyme structure where he would sing something, and the last thing he sings, then the devil would have to pick up on that and do the same line and make his part of the poem work. This is all from a poem, a very famous poem in Venezuela by a poet by the name of Torrealba, and it's a story that's been turned into TV, movies, and films, and it's sort of like their big legend. And so they get in this dueling contest with this poetry, and they sing all night. And they duel with each other, and Florentino's voice is about to give out when he decides to start calling on the saints, and the saints then vanquish the devil.
Unfair.
Yes, unfair advantage there.
Yeah.
But it's
You seem pretty passionate about this.
It is the most lively and fantastic music. It has all these really great Latin American rhythms. So, symphony orchestra, but it's just got a boatload of percussion playing, and even the harps are going crazy. So it is not.
You need to do that again and record it. Right there.
It's not something you're going to sleep through. I mean, it is a really fantastic. It's very cinematic. You could really see this as movie soundtrack music.
Well, you bring up a good question here, or a point here about it, cinematic, because I'm sitting here as I'm listening to you talk about this. How does this vary from, say, opera? Because it kind of sounds, what you're describing to me almost sounds a little bit like an opera.
Well, it could be if it were turned into an opera, because we have characters, we have story, we have,
You have sets, they have a bar.
No, you have to do that and imagine that in your mind, but the music will transport you there. I heard this on the radio one time, and I had to do it. It's not something that you have to listen to 6 times before you get it. The very first time, you're just absolutely jazzed.
Diane, what is that like? Can it take us kind of behind the scenes when you have 2 acclaimed artists coming here from different part of the world? When I don't even know how long you have to work with them, but just the melding of the talents and trying to get everybody on the same page, what is that like?
Well, it's kind of a rush. It's really exciting when you get superb, stellar professional soloists coming in. They've done all their preparation, and it's only usually in the last few days that they come in, and you combine with the choir that's been rehearsing for months, and you combine with the orchestra. The orchestra usually they're very fine musicians, and they read the music. So last few days, but we have a special situation with these soloists. The Halt Endowment has given us a very special grant, so they have come in. They will be here for a week, and that's a long time for these kind of things. We're doing gatherings in some of the Spanish immersion schools. We're doing gatherings in a Latino community event. We're also going to do, and this one is free and open to the public, a voice masterclass on Thursday, April 28th. And so anyone who would like to see how would these soloists work with students, or people here in Eugene who've prepared a solo, how would they work with their voices? That's Thursday, April 28th at 3 o'clock at the Halt Center. That one is free and open to the public in the Halt Center studio.
Just for students, or is that?
No, this anybody who would like to come and watch, and anybody who is a soloist out there and wants to be one of the soloists who these soloists from Caracas would work with. Just get in touch with the Eugene Concert Choir, and we'll get you to be a part of the program.
Doesn't seem the least bit intimidating.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No, but it's a great opportunity. But this particular concert has a real family event as well. Because we do our regular concert Saturday night, but we do a kids concert Saturday morning. This is so much fun. The soloists will be there, and we're doing not only the Cantada Criolla, I'm going to use that criolla word again. This is a misa criolla by an Argentine composer, and it is so entirely different. It's a folk mass. It's got, guitars and this little tiny guitar called a charango, and it has a type of drum called the bombo, and it has these like pan flutes. You've seen sort of pan flutes called pena. Yeah.
Name my son after.
And so, and that we'll be doing that work for the Saturday morning concert with the kids, also Saturday evening.
Is that free?
That one is a very reduced price. Okay. It's a very low price, and we have family 4-packs, and we have kid prices.
What time is that?
That one is Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Good time for kids. So just a short concert, 11 to noon. But we also do right before that, starting at 10:30 in the Hult Center lobby, we do arts and crafts activities, and
so they can make the devil.
Well, actually, what they're going to make, we have a music education director who goes out in the schools and teaches a song, and we chose the song called Maria Moñitos, and Maria Moñitos is this. You might have seen Latin American pictures, this woman with big ribbon hair. It's a celebration that they have in Venezuela where people get all dressed up. Men, women, everybody gets dressed up like Maria Moñitos, this big head with big flowing ribbon hair. And so the kids we're going to be making little instruments and Moñitos heads and so on. And so the kids get to kind of really express themselves in the lobby, going around table to table and making arts and crafts, and then they come into the concert. This is not a concert where we say, just sit there and be quiet. We want them singing along and clapping and being a part of it, and so,
audience participation.
Yes, if you think, oh, my kids are not going to sit through a concert, this is a concert to come to.
How do you get tickets for Saturday night?
Well, both of these you can get, both the kids' concert and the evening concert you can get at the Hult Center, at the box office, 682-5000, and go to eugeneconcertchoir.org.
Out of curiosity, if somebody wanted to, do you have annual tryouts for the choir?
We do.
And if folks maybe think, okay, I maybe have the chops to be able to do this, and it sounds like fun.
He's talking about himself, by the way.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even close.
Well, we have auditions coming up in September or end of August. This will be our last concert this April 30th, and we take a break over the summer, and then we'll come back in the fall with a fantastic program. If people want to sing the Beethoven Mass in C, the Bernstein Chichester Psalms, a great program, a Festival of Carols, and a spring concert I'm calling Tin Pan Alley Follies. Some of the great, Gershwin, Cole Porter, early 1900s songs and things. You would just contact us, look at our website, eugeneconcertchoir.org, about the audition requirements. Give us a call or send us an email, and we'll sign you up for an audition.
That easy. By the way, Keith writes, tell her the Burt Bacharach show was, and all in caps, awesome, with 5 exclamation points.
Well, thank you. I will say, if you come to a Eugene Concert Choir concert, you are going to have an amazing experience. And not only was that Burt Bacharach concert awesome, Burt surprised us, and he was there himself.
You really didn't think he was going to be there?
No. Well, we had his son Oliver in the show, and Oliver didn't know. Oliver said that, I don't think it would be great if my dad could come, but he's just not able to. In the middle of the show, Oliver gets a text on his phone. You look great up there in the green jacket. Let's go out afterwards. He's like, what? My parents are here? Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine being somebody who sits next to him or behind him, or see, Bert in the crowd with you?
I know.
Surreal.
Well, but they could be sitting there going, why is this guy texting during the performance? That is so rude. Who is this guy? Kick him out! Kick him out!
I don't know. People didn't know he was there. It was the performers who got to meet him afterwards. He just let Oliver have the spotlight, and he was very low key about it. But he came backstage afterwards, and we loved him. And I have this is something I will take with me forever. Burt Bacharach said to me, "You are very musical."
What else? Where can you go from there?
I know.
That's like the highlight right there.
I know. And he complimented all the musicians and the soloists, and he thoroughly enjoyed the show. So it was a great and wonderful surprise that really made it special for everybody.
One of the questions I would have liked to have asked him, and I'll just throw this out there, of all the different songs, was there ever one that when it would come on the radio, he would turn it off because he was sick of it? I've wondered, because he's had some of them that just have been evergreen. I mean,
he's still playing.
I know.
And he's 87.
You have to wonder, do you ever just go, God, if I never hear this song by me again, I'll be a happy man?
I don't think so. And Oliver said he plays at home. He plays his music. Oliver grew up with it. I said, I grew up with your dad's music, and he said, I did too. I guess I did too. And it was so cute. He never pushed Oliver into playing.
Yeah.
But he wrote him a song called For Oliver. And when Oliver came to the University of Oregon, he decided to take piano lessons so he could learn to play the song his dad wrote for him. And he learned to play so well that he tours with his dad now. It is so cool.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
Boy, some great things happening with the Eugene Concert Choir. You're doing some amazing things. So keep in touch, and maybe we can get some singers here for our Christmas show.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah,
because we're going to do a lot of carols, and that's easy to transport.
We can fit a bunch of people in here.
Well, it's a 100-voice choir, but we could bring a few.
We can do it.
I mean, you haven't seen our addition out there, the green room.
I see.
Yeah. Diane, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you. It's always great to talk to you guys.
How about one more plug? Because I know people sometimes turn on the radio and they're like, well, what were they talking about originally before the backlash?
Right.
Coming up the 30th.
Yes, Saturday, April 30th, 2 great shows. Evening show, it's called Cantada Criolla, but if you just say Eugene Concert Choir Spring Concert, they will know. At the Holt Center box office, 682-5000 or eugeneconcertchoir.org. We also have a kids concert that morning at 11 a.m. with pre-concert activities in the lobby at 10:30.
Nice.
Diane, thanks again.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Bye.
From the Eugene Concert Choir. It is 8:46, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Any gains by the Dow and S&P would put them at new highs for the year, but so far they've been bouncing around on both sides of the flat line. Right now the Dow is up 22 points, the Nasdaq up 9, and the S&P up a point. The price of oil is down very slightly after Kuwaiti oil workers called off a strike. For 3 days, Kuwait's production was cut in half. That's significant because the country is OPEC's 4th biggest producer. Coke's smaller cans have been popular with customers and the company. Customers like the smaller portions. Coca-Cola likes that it can charge more per ounce. That helped Coke to slightly better than expected profits, even as sales fell in recent months. But it is one of the Dow stocks under pressure, falling 4%. Sometime soon, when you go to the supermarket, you may have to look twice to find the Diet Coke or Coke Zero or Coke Life. Coke is doing away with the silver, black, and green cans and will introduce a design with a big red dot covering most of the can. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
When it comes to windows, doors, and installation, Discount Windows has you covered.
Discount Windows has thousands of premium overstock windows on site and the lowest prices on stock windows, like Ply Gem vinyl windows and patio doors. Discount Windows ensures a quick turnaround on custom orders, too.
We provide professional, affordable installation.
Highway 99 in Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Discount Windows. We do windows, doors, and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
If you need to sell your home, listen up. Lars here to tell you about a real estate agent right in Lane County that takes the stress out of selling a home. I'm talking about Jeremy Parmenter of Keller Williams Realty. Jeremy has a marketing system for selling homes on a whole different level than anyone you're going to talk to in Lane County. Jeremy works with the top real estate developer in Oregon, and week after week, Jeremy attracts hundreds of buyers, which creates demand and helps your home sell fast and for top dollar. That's why Jeremy offers a home sale guarantee. If Jeremy can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agreed to, he'll buy it. Plus, it's risk-free. If he isn't doing his job after one day, you can fire him. But don't worry, you won't, because he outsells the average agent 8-1. If I needed to sell my home and lived in Lane County, I'd call up Jeremy. Call Jeremy today at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. And start packing.
I'm in almost every school bus and classroom. You see me around the neighborhood and you tell me that I'm a pretty good kid. Well, I'm one out of every 5 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank for ways to help. Every dollar you donate helps provide 8 meals for kids like me. We are Feeding America, brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I have to get to sleep.
Tom had a stressful day, and now he can't shut down at bedtime.
Need sleep.
To fall asleep fast, millions of people turn to Unisom sleep gels. They're non-habit forming and quickly help you sleep soundly so you wake recharged. Tom? Unisom sleep gels. A stressful day deserves a restful night. Use as directed. Active ingredient diphenhydramine hydrochloride.
News, information, 24/7 on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Yep, you could be seeing it too if you had one of those adjustable bases on the bed. I'm thinking it would be awesome. By the way, if you don't have an adjustable base for your mattress, you're missing out on one of life's simple pleasures. And I say that because there are times, even if you don't have a bad back or a bad neck or problems like that, where for whatever reason you're stiff, you're sore, you've been out, you've been working out, or maybe you've been doing yard work, and it's just like, ow, my back hurts. To be able to adjust that base a little bit, to find the perfect comfort spot, that kind of zero gravity spot where you go, oh, wow, is so nice. And plus, it's cool, too, if you're one of those folks who likes to read in bed or something like that. You can find a full line of adjustable bases at Sleep Train, along with a full line of great mattresses to put on top of the adjustable base, like, say, a Tempur-Pedic or a Posture-Pedic. Maybe a Beauty Rest Black Hybrid. And by the way, they're having the interest-free for 3 event that's going on right now, so it's a perfect time to head into Sleep Train.
When we talk about interest-free, we're talking about 3 years interest-free financing, no money down on top brands like Tempur-Pedic and Beauty Rest Black Hybrid, or when you elevate with that movable base, like Bill talks about, or save up to $200 on Beauty Rest and Posture-Pedic mattress sets. It's on approved credit with up to 36 equal monthly payments required. You are going to be sleeping like a baby, maybe even tonight, with that same-day delivery in Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, and Salem, and tell them you're like this. Like this. With the wake-up call.
This is your wake-up call.
Bring it down a couple of notches, because you're a little too happy.
Holloway and Lundgren on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
All right, don't forget, the ice cream being delivered, the Umpqua Ice Cream Social. We need to get that email from you today, 1120kpnw@gmail.com, with all the pertinent information. Of course, up to 15 people. We need the address, telephone number, a contact, where we're going to be bringing the ice cream.
Delivery tomorrow.
And then, after that, you'll have an after party. The Ice Cream Social will have an after party.
Right. from 4 to 7 o'clock. Where are we having the after party? We're having it at Sam's on Wilson. That's out there just off of West 11th. And it's a chance for you to get out there and, maybe enjoy a Widmer brew or two. A Widmer brew or two. They're going to incorporate that into all of their marketing now. Anyway, you can have a Widmer brew with us. I'm going to be out there. They always have some munchies out there and lots of prizes you're going to give away. It's a great way to mingle, maybe bring some friends out, and we'll put on a good show for you. I don't know.
Come see Bill perform and see what he does in an appearance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't do that.
The stuff I do on the unicycle, people just are amazed. Not
All right,
really.
let's get somebody qualified before we take off.
2 people qualified. Yeah.
Cuthbert, season pass. All right, we need callers. We'll do caller 1 and caller 2 at 541-485 KPNW 1-888-KPNW 888. We're talking about, you're going to Sublime if you want to. Weird Al, Lyle Lovett. You've got, of course, Bob Dylan and Mavis Staples. Slightly Stupid. I mean, even shows that you don't want to go. I'm sure you have somebody in your circle that would love to have free tickets because you're going to every single show there.
I kind of like the idea that they're doing kind of Beauty and the Beast with Mavis and Bob Dylan. She's got this awesome voice, and then you have Bob, who occasionally, with subtitles, you can understand.
Occasionally. Even with subtitles, it's kind of rough. We got a qualifier?
What do you mean, do we have a qualifier?
Do we have a something? I mean,
no, all you're doing is calling and qualifying.
We're just qualified. Okay, so it's caller 1 and 2. Let's take caller 1 right now. KPNW, welcome in. Who's this?
This Rick.
Hey, Rick, where are you calling from?
Eugene.
Eugene, should you be our grand prize winner, out of curiosity, which show resonates with you the most?
I like them all. It's hard to pick a favorite.
Good answer. All right. Rick, hang on 1 sec. We need some details from you. Caller number 2 is whom?
It's Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Do we know this guy?
Has it been?
Yeah, the regular loser.
Yeah, the regular loser. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hang on, Michael. And by the way, Rob asked the question, and Rick will ask you.
I haven't looked at the schedule. I'm not quite sure. It's like, I don't know, some reggae band, I would assume. I don't know if Ziggy Marley's going to come or, but...
Ziggy's not on that.
Yeah,
but,
all right. Well, thanks for paying attention, Michael. Hang on. We'll get you qualified. All right. It is 8:55. That's
all week we'll have more chances for you to qualify.
And all next week, too.
Okay. All right. And good luck if you want to be the ice cream winner. Get it in again, 1120kpnw@gmail.com.
Subject line, ice cream. Umpqua ice cream, something that says ice cream.
That's it for us. See you tomorrow for Thursday, 6:05. We're going to be here. Hopefully you will be here. We'll be broadcasting from the Widmer Brothers studio right here on KPNW.
I'm Jeremy. And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call, the one means no matter what the problem. From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7. Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season. Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort. One to call. Michelob Ultra is more than a superior light beer. It's taking in all life has to offer, like catching a wave or biking a long trail. And when you're done, you reach for a cold Michelob Ultra. Fewer carbs, fewer calories, more to look forward to. Michelob Ultra. Long live the ultra life. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra Light Beer, 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams protein, to 0 grams fat per 12-ounce serving. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London.
The philosophy here is a very simple one.
1120 KPNW.
The Belly Flattener Nubiotics is in an epic battle with the competition to be the best belly flattening product on the market. To prove they're the best, they're giving away free trials to everyone who calls in the next 10 minutes. 1-800-900-8381. New Biotics has what it takes to win. It's scientifically formulated to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. Made with natural ingredients, it even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. But to win, New Biotics can't just be the best. It's got to prove it's the best. That's why they're giving away free trials to anyone, male or female, who's looking for maximum belly flattening in minimum time. Again, New Biotics is in an epic battle to be the best belly flattening product on the market. To win, they're giving away free trials to everyone who calls in the next 10 minutes. So hurry. Call now for details. 1-800-900-8381. If lines are busy, try again. 1-800-900-8381. That's 1-800-900-8381.
Last year, over 15,000 children in Lane County spent at least one night in foster care. CASA of Lane County provides a powerful voice for these children by training community members to advocate on their behalf in court. These court-appointed special advocates serve as the eyes and ears of the judge to facilitate the child's movement through the foster care system into safe and permanent homes as quickly as possible. If you are interested in becoming a CASA, please call 541-984-3132 or visit CASA-lane.org.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. After a bumpy start, stocks have settled into modest gains. The Dow up 45 points, the Nasdaq up 20, and the S&P up 4 points, with oil prices also reversing direction. Crude futures now gaining more than 0.5% to $41.35 a barrel. The Dow and S&P could reach new highs for the year with any gain today. As the spring selling season gets underway, sales of previously owned homes jumped a stronger than forecast 5.1% in March. The Bloomberg consensus was for a rise of about 4%. Sales were the strongest in the Northeast, with a gain of 11%. A price increase helped cushion a drop in satellite TV users for Dish Network. Also benefiting the company, its $20 a month skinny bundle offer through its Sling TV streaming option, which saw a pickup in subscribers. Dish managed to beat quarterly profit estimates, and shares are up more than 2%. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Depend on us for breaking news from the local neighborhood to the global one. We are News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. The first criminal charges just filed in the Flint water crisis. Fox's Hillary Barsky has more live.
It's part of an investigation that is expected to widen. A pair of State Department of Environmental staffers and a local water treatment plant supervisor are being charged with evidence tampering and felony and misdemeanor counts. Flint's water supply became contaminated with lead back in April of 2014 after the city's water source was switched while under state financial management. As a result, residents drank and bathed with improperly treated water. The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality acknowledged a disastrous mistake was made when they failed to require the city to add corrosion control chemicals as part of the treatment process. Lisa?
Thanks, Hillary. A news conference is set for next hour. The U.S. Supreme Court is telling Iran it has to pay for attacks that killed Americans. Fox Radio's Jared Halpern, live in Washington.
A 6-2 Supreme Court opinion clears the way for nearly $2 billion to be awarded to American families of terror victims, including the 241 Marines killed in the 1983 terror attack in Beirut. Congress passed a law ordering U.S.-held assets of the Iranian bank Markazi be used to pay those judgments. The bank challenged the law, arguing it violates separation of powers. The majority opinion, authored by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, concludes Congress was within its authority. Congress is currently considering legislation that would allow families of September 11th attack victims to sue the government of Saudi Arabia. Lisa.
Jared, Ted Cruz not giving up after finishing third in New York.
Upon winning his home state, Donald, with a characteristic display of humility, declared this race is over.
Cruz insisting it's not. He and Hillary Clinton are in Pennsylvania. Trump's in Indiana and Maryland. Today off the trail for Bernie Sanders. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
I know you've heard the IRS has the right to freeze your assets, garnish your wages. Good news is they can also give you a way out called the Fresh Start Initiative, a tax debt compromise program designed to save you serious money. Optima is the nation's leading tax resolution firm. Over 300 professionals to help ensure you pay the minimum, not a penny more. Thousands call every month. You can call right now. Optima. That's Latin for cut me some slack.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacationing in the French Riviera, and then buying it. I just thought maybe it was time to prepare for my future. You know, set some financial goals, make some smart investments, open a 401k. Financial goals? Investments? A 401k? You are horrifying right now. Listen, if winning the lottery were easy, everyone would do it.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and
from the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Deb Carson.
Well, after missing the first 2 days of the offseason program, Bills receiver Sammy Watkins is there for today's Day 3. He missed the first couple of days because he was attending a youth camp in South Carolina. Meanwhile, free agent quarterback Brian Hoyer still without a team, but he did visit with the Jets on Tuesday. Quarterback Johnny Manziel also without a team and without an agent after being dropped by Drew Rosenhaus on Tuesday, his second agent to drop him in 2 months. Manziel did release a statement to USA Today on Tuesday saying, quote, "I'm hoping to take care of the issues in front of me right now so I can focus on what I have to do if I want to play in 2016, end quote. He also thanked his supporters. In Hoops News, former Syracuse basketball great Dwayne Pearl Washington has passed away at age 52 after battling complications from a malignant brain tumor.
Oregon restricts hunting in spring to let animal populations recover from winter and raise their young. But spring is still a good time to get outdoors and hunt cougar, black bear, and turkey, along with a lot of small game, including coyotes and skunks. Skunks? Who wants to hunt skunks? Well, whatever you go for, check the regs first. Get your tags and head to Oak Grove Guns for your gear and ammunition. Oak Grove carries all the major brands, plus used firearms, and they take trades. Oak Grove Guns, proud to supply products to responsible gun owners.
Salem politicians have increased spending by 63%, but nothing's 63% better. Politicians spent $190 million on a Columbia River crossing that was never built, and $300 million on a Cover Oregon website that didn't work. Now they're proposing a tax increase? We need a change. Alan Alley's running for governor because one-party rule in Salem has failed us.
The political class has let us down. Career politicians in Salem spend too much, and the lobbyists and special interests have too much power. It's not working. I'm Alan Alley. I'll take a different approach. I'm an engineer and a problem solver. As governor, I'll cut wasteful spending, fight for term limits, and make Salem accountable to you.
Alan Alley. He's not part of the Salem crowd. He'll cut wasteful spending and fight for term limits to get rid of the career politicians. Alan Alley for governor. Less Salem, more Oregon. Paid for by friends of Alan Alley.
Sun Automotive is proud to sponsor the Northwest edition of Lars Larson. Sun Automotive with locations in Eugene and Springfield reminds you, stay safe on the road, keep your car well maintained, and don't text and drive. Sun Automotive.
Listen to In the Garden with Mike Darcy this Saturday, 9 to noon, for gardening tips that'll help make your garden bloom. Listen to the experts or call in with your own questions. Sponsored by Plant Fashions Plus, superior plants grown by gardeners for gardeners on Jasper Road in Springfield.
It's 9:06 and time for Rush. Rush Limbaugh on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Hey, folks, how about those rigged rules in the Republican Party primary process? Did you see this? Did you hear about this? Donald Trump got 60% of the vote and got 95% of the delegates. Is that not cool? I mean, that's rigged, right? I mean, that's... We've been told it's not rigged? That's not rigged. Oh, okay. Well, greetings, my friends. How are you? Great to have you here. Rush Limbaugh behind that. The golden EIB microphone here at the Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies. The telephone number, if you want to be on the program, 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushwo@eibnet.com. I just want to demonstrate again for you why you make the effort to listen here each and every day. You will be on the cutting edge. You will know what is going to happen, both sometimes specifically and in a generic sense, long before it does. If you listen and if you have the courage to trust and to believe. This was me last Thursday right here on this program. I'm just looking at these upcoming primaries. Trump's got double-digit lead in Pennsylvania, with Cruz in third place. Double-digit lead in Maryland, Cruz in third place. Cruz can't afford any third-place finishes here. Even if you're talking about a contested convention, right now there has been, in the world of perception, a momentum shift away from Trump because, A, Wisconsin was a Cruz victory, and what happened in Colorado. Yeah, people's noses are out of joint because of how Colorado happened. But just in terms of the energy, momentum, Cruz on a roll right now, delegate-wise. Delegates out of Colorado, they're his. Delegates out of Wisconsin are his. He's running around shoring up second ballot delegate loyalty in all these places that Trump won, which is perfectly legal. But at the same time, there are a lot of primary elections yet to happen. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, not to mention California. And again, we're in a lull here where all anybody's got to talk about is the most recent event in the past and polling data. But next Tuesday, we're going to have a New York primary, and we're going to have hard, cold results. And those hard, cold results are going to wipe out everything going on right now and change everybody's focus, and the perception is going to be all different. It's a seesaw. It's like an up and down roller coaster. And voila! In one night, just last week, maybe even Monday, could be last Thursday or Friday, everybody was talking about, hey, you know what? Cruz could actually pull something off here. Cruz is shoring up all these delegates. He's going to all these places where they're having their conventions and choosing their delegates after the primaries, which is what happens, and he's getting a whole bunch of them. And the Trumpsters are all upset because Cruz is getting delegates that they think Trump has won, but we're talking second ballot delegates here. And everybody was talking, man, oh, look, it's Cruz. He's really on a roll here. And the Cruzers were all excited. And then the New York primary came, and now what is the narrative? It's over. The narrative now is it's over. It's all over but the shouting. Now it's all over. No way can Cruz get to 1237, and there wasn't a way that he was going to be able to last week anyway. But it's just an illustration, once again, of how media establishes narratives for a host of reasons and how people get caught up in them, and how many of these narratives surround non-events, and how hard, cold results of a primary election, actual hard news rather than theories, forecasts, polls, can totally wipe out a narrative that has been established by the media in previous days. And no matter where you look, it's the same thing on the Democrat side. It's over now. This is Hillary, a landslide. Top Clinton aide now. If Sanders doesn't tone down the rhetoric, F him. Bernie says, screw that. We're going to head down the road here, keeping up our delegate fight and so forth. So we're not finished with this. There are going to be momentum shifts. Even despite last night, there will be momentum shifts. But here's Chris Cillizza in the Washington Post today, and I'm just telling you what's out there. Informing you here, the headline, the new Donald Trump should scare the hell out of the GOP establishment. Gone was Lyin' Ted. In its place was Senator Cruz. Gone was the long-winded speech that went nowhere. In its place, a succinct recitation of states and delegates won. Gone was the 2-day vacation as a reward for winning. In its place, an early morning trip to Indiana today, followed by another planned stop in Maryland. Donald Trump 2.0 made his official debut last night. This is a drive-bys. Chris Zalissa, card-carrying member, drive-by establishment media, Washington Post, claiming that Trump 2.0, meaning he's finally become presidential. And it happened in his home state, winning the New York primary. You know, just on a personal level, if you're Donald Trump, if anybody. The front page cover, the New York Post today, that's one you frame and you keep forever, and your kids will always be proud of it. New York Times, big banner headline. First word in the headline is Trump. So it was a big day, big night. They did better than what they thought they were going to do. The Trump people did. Speaking of this, folks, we've been running at RushLimbaugh.com. I mentioned this a couple of times. I think it's time to focus on this. We have been following the John Kasich delegate countdown. As you know, John Kasich is also in this race and is insisting that he will be the nominee. And so we have been tracking his success, primary after primary after primary. And the number of delegates that Kasich won has not changed in 2 or 3 weeks. But last night it did. So we've had movement in our little chart at RushLimbaugh.com above the fold. On the homepage of our website, the Kasich delegate countdown magic number to clinch the nomination is now 1,090. He's only 1,090 delegates away from clinching. He has won 147 delegates. He's still behind Marco Rubio, who is out of the race. But Kasich got some delegates last night, and we were able to make a change in our Kasich graphic, much like our Al Gore countdown. 10 years for planet Earth to survive, which we have survived, Al Gore's 10-year countdown. Now, yesterday on this program, actually 2 days ago on this program, I happened to mention something that I've mentioned numerous times, and that is that there are a lot of Republicans all over the country, national Republicans, state, local, who have said they're never voting for Trump, whatever. They'll vote for Hillary instead. Well, yesterday on the Fox News channel, Martha McCallum and Bill Hammer, their morning news block from 9 to 11, McCallum played the bite and brought Rich Lowry in and a former Joe Biden speechwriter to come in and discuss what I had said, which I'm just repeating what I've heard. I'm not making anything up. I have heard all of these different Republicans who say that they would never vote for Trump. Some of them never vote for Cruz. They're going to vote for Hillary instead. And I endeavored to explain why. It's all about the establishment trying to hold on to their fiefdoms. It's all about the establishment trying to hold on to what they've got and being afraid that outsiders like Trump or Cruz would come in and blow up the entire Republican establishment club and network and basically destroy people's positions in it. And they would much rather hold on to that club than win the White House with somebody that might harm the club, meaning self-preservation is their first objective. Well, I said yesterday I thought it was kind of cool for McCallum to do it because mostly it was sound bites like that when TV news networks air them. They usually air those things to take a shot at me. Oh, what's the latest wacko thing Limbaugh's onto? But she played it and she backed it up and she thought that it was relevant and made sense and asked people questions about it. Well, it has continued. It has survived. Last night, Fox Business Network, After the Bell, David Asman is talking to Daniel Henninger, columnist for the Wall Street Journal. He's the editorial page deputy editor, about my comments that establishment Republicans would rather vote for Hillary than for Donald Trump or Cruz. And Asman said, you know, that's quite a charge that Limbaugh's making here, that Republicans will vote for Hillary. It's not a charge. It's not even an allegation. I'm simply reciting what I've heard them say. Am I the only one who's heard this? Let me do a quick little, Mr. Snerdley. When you heard me mention this Monday, did you do a double take and say, "Whoa, what's he talking about?" No, of course not, because you've heard it too. I'm not making it up, and we've got evidence to back it up here in just a second. Anyway, Asman says that's quite a charge that Republicans will vote for Hillary. We've had some Republicans say that right here. In fact, Mr. Henniger, what do you make of that?
Things are getting pretty hot under the collar out there, at least Rush Limbaugh's collar. I have not heard too many people say they would rather vote for Hillary Clinton than vote for Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. I mean, generally what I
just heard Pataki say it right here, essentially say it a couple hours ago with Neil Cavuto.
That he would vote for Hillary Clinton.
Neil put it to him several times, and he tried to squirm out of it, but essentially that's what he said.
Well, the conversations I have with such people, generally after they go through all the angst and torture of talking about Trump versus Cruz and all the rest of it, say, but the important thing is defeating Hillary Clinton.
No, that's the point. There are a lot of Republicans not saying that. There are a lot of Republicans, and they want to be noticed saying this. They're not whispering it. They're repeating it to media types who then publish it or broadcast it. And Asman gives Henniger proof. Well, Pataki just write this here on our network here. Said it to Neil Cavuto. Cavuto couldn't believe it. He asked him 3 or 4 times. Pataki, yeah, stuck with it. So Henniger then takes a detour. Well, most people I know voted against Hillary. I mean, caught red-handed. Well, let's keep going here with the audio sound bites. Up next, Neil Cavuto talking to Pataki yesterday afternoon, the Fox Business Network.
What would you do if it is Trump? Would George
It would be a
Pataki,
hard decision.
So you couldn't make up your mind and say unequivocally?
I do not think Hillary Clinton should be president of the United States.
All right, so you'd vote for Trump.
Period. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the tail end of it. He instead that he would vote for Hillary. But he doesn't think she should be president, but he can't see himself voting for Trump. I'm not making this stuff up. Christy Todd Whitman on Bloomberg TV, February 29th, 2016.
I probably will vote for her. I won't want to.
I probably will vote for her. I don't want to. That's all the way back in February. There are other examples. A GOP delegate from the District of Columbia, Raina Barara, says she will vote for Hillary rather than Trump. An anti-Trump RNC delegate saying that she will vote for Hillary over Trump. We've got the YouTube video link. Back in March, Republican Congressman Carlos Curbelo of Florida said that he would vote for anybody besides Trump, even if it means crossing party lines. Asked point blank if that means he would vote for Clinton over Trump if it came down to, well, not necessarily, but they're out there saying these things. Peter King, Congressman New York, has refused to say that he would vote for Trump over Hillary. He has said he would take cyanide if it's Ted Cruz. Oh, yeah, Peter King, Congressman from New York, he would take cyanide if it was Ted Cruz, and he has not said that he will never vote. He's not said he will vote for Trump under any circumstance. Fortune magazine. Elliot Cohen, influential neocon who helped multiple positions in the George W. Bush administration, held positions. And Carlos Curbelo, Kevin Madden, the communications strategist for 3 Republican presidential campaigns. Mel Martinez, he said that he would vote, not Mel, but he worked for Mel Martinez. Scott Rigel, representative, Virginia's 2nd Congressional District. Ben Sassa. These are people who have intimated they'd never vote for Trump no matter what. So my point is, we're not making it up. And then you hit this establishment editorial page editor, Daniel Henniger. Well, that's just Limbaugh. How do they call it? It's not. These guys all come back with, well, at the end of the day, people are going to realize that Hillary. I wonder. That's the whole point with me. It damn well better end up being everybody's going to line up and vote against Hillary, because I'm telling you, whatever the options are we have on the Republican side pale in comparison to the destructive force that Hillary Clinton leads, which is the Democrat Party and the American left. It is the primary reason this country is failing as it is. It's the primary reason there's such angst. The Democrat Party, specifically Barack Obama and policies. There aren't any Republican fingerprints on much of this. There aren't any Republican fingerprints on Obamacare. The Republicans probably do want their fingerprints on amnesty and illegal immigration, but so far there aren't any. The only thing the Republicans are guilty of yet is not stopping any of this stuff and not really making any serious effort to stop any of it. But, and I'll tell you what else is frustrating for me, folks. We have shown that in the midterms, we can skunk these people in big time. 2010, 2014, the Democrats lost over 1,000 combined seats in the House, in the Senate, in state houses, governorships, down to town council, you name it. It's significant. 1,000 offices they lost that are now held by Republicans, many of them governorships, in 2010 and 2014. Now, what happens? Why can't that same phenomenon happen in a presidential year? And there are many different theories. Well, when the party chooses a nominee, that kind of kills the enthusiasm. So don't tell me it can't be done. The Democrats can be beaten. Yeah, Rush, but midterm turnouts, the Democrats don't show. Yeah, but it matters why they don't show up. They're not enthused. And they're not enthused now. I don't care what people want to talk about the Democrat primary. There still isn't any enthusiasm on that side of the... I've got to take a quick time out. We'll be back in a second.
Say what needs to be said. Rush on the EIB network.
Do you have a family member who is getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? Get to know Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care. With over 500 offices, Visiting Angels assist adults nationwide to continue living in-home and avoid moving into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meals, and light housework. Services provided up to 24 hours a day at affordable rates. For senior home care you can trust, check out visitingangels.com. Franchise opportunities available. Visitingangels.com. You have a family member who is getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? Get to know Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care. With over 500 offices, Visiting Angels assist adults nationwide to continue living in-home and avoid moving into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meals, and light housework. Services provided up to 24 hours a day at affordable rates. For senior home care you can trust, check out visitingangels.com. Franchise opportunities available. Visitingangels.com.
If you need to sell your home, listen up. Lars here to tell you about a real estate agent right in Lane County that takes the stress out of selling a home. I'm talking about Jeremy Parmenter of Keller Williams Realty. Jeremy has a marketing system for selling homes on a whole different level than anyone you're going to talk to in Lane County. Jeremy works with the top real estate developer in Oregon, and week after week, Jeremy attracts hundreds of buyers, which creates demand and helps your home sell fast and for top dollar. That's why Jeremy offers a home sale guarantee. If Jeremy can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agreed to, he'll buy it. Plus, it's risk-free. If he isn't doing his job after one day, you can fire him. But don't worry, you won't, because he outsells the average agent 8-1. If I needed to sell my home and lived in Lane County, I'd call up Jeremy. Call Jeremy today at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. And start packing.
Whether it's new or recycled office furniture, Oregon's most respected office furniture dealer is Office Furniture Direct in Portland, selling furniture throughout the state. Office Furniture Direct has clients up and down I-5 and is making trips into Eugene every month and can be your source for the best price and finest installation. Save money on quality office furniture at Office Furniture Direct at ofd-pdx.com.
Office Furniture Direct.
Hi, this is Bill London. Hey, guess what's coming up this Thursday? It's another Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by KPNW, Western Beverage, and Widmer Brothers. And we are going to be out at Sam's on Wilson from 4 to 7 o'clock. Besides sharing some great brews, we're going to give you a chance to win season tickets to the Cuthbert Amphitheater for all of the shows. They're going to be there this season. So it's a great way to win and a great way to have some fun with friends. It's Sam's on Wilson. It's a Thirsty Thursday with KPNW.
With news every 30 minutes, Bloomberg market reports every hour, and Rush Limbaugh now. We are 1120 KPNW.
And here's just one more example from and this one I remember like it was yesterday because it almost is. The Hill.com March 24th, vocal Trump critics in GOP open to supporting Hillary. The real question is, why am I the only one that noticed this? This stuff's been all over the place out there. So I have to talk about it. Shows up all over cable news. They bring in Republican establishment types to talk about, I don't know what Limbaugh's hot under the collar about. I haven't heard anybody say this. Members of the remember when I told you this? Members of the Republican foreign policy establishment are open to supporting Ted Cruz or even Hillary Clinton for president if that's what it takes to prevent Trump from becoming commander-in-chief. There's some interviews with The Hill. Prominent Republicans signed a scathing open letter denouncing Trump, said they are not wavering from their opposition to him. Now, admittedly, these are not elected officials, but these are foreign policy experts who have worked in prior Republican regimes, prior Republican administrations. They are major establishment figures. They wear the wingtips, the striped pants. They got the uniform down pat, State Department or Pentagon, depending on where they are. 120 of them wrote a letter denouncing Trump. The Hill.com contacted 13 of them, and the Hill says that most, if not all of them, intimated they would back Hillary over Trump.